Welcome, everyone. My name is David Chorley. I'm the artistic director here at Mesa Encore Theatre, and it's time to hear some Robin Hood. Welcome to our live stream reading of The Legend of Robin Hood. We're so very fortunate to be able to do this here for you tonight. First off, I hope everyone is safe and healthy as many of us enter week 7 of this quarantine. I've heard a great saying recently. It's not so much that we are all in the same boat. We are all more navigating the same storm, and we're all in our own little boats getting through this tempest known as coronavirus in our different ways. Mesa Encore Theatre, like all theaters, are just trying to find our footing. How are we going to get through these next few months without being able to produce any shows live? And I know that there's a lot of theaters out there that are probably struggling worse than Mesa Encore Theatre. But here's a little bit about our organization right now. MET does 6 shows a year, and we have 3 shows that we do in the spring. Bam, bam, bam. March, April, May, we do 3 shows. That is half our season. That is half of our revenue. And our spring show was affected by this, and we had to cancel Reefer Madness. And then this show that you're about to see was going to close out our season this year. It was supposed to open on May 15th. Additionally, Mesa Encore Theatre performs at the Mesa Art Center, which is a beautiful facility in downtown Mesa that is operated by the city. And we have already found out that that is going to be closed at a best case scenario until October 1st. So this pandemic is already going to eat into our next season as well. So why am I starting out the show like this? Well, I just wanted to remind everyone that throughout the evening tonight, you can give donations. Now is more important than ever for donations to be given to all arts organizations, Mesa Encore Theatre included. So you'll see a graphic throughout the night that gives you information about donating. Maybe one of the easiest ways is just by shooting us over our Venmo account. Our Venmo account is at Mesa-Encore Theatre. Most of you are going to be viewing the live stream tonight through our website. So if you are on that page, you can actually scroll down to the very bottom and you'll see a blue button that says Donate Today. And that'll give you even further options to donate. Also, you could just go to mesaencoretheatre.com/donate, mesaencoretheatre.com/donate. And again, anything would help because there's nothing coming in right now. We're a nonprofit organization. If you have any questions on that, you can put those comments in as well. Another way that you could actually help Mesa Encore Theatre is by purchasing some season subscriptions. We have an early bird ticket price right now for $140 that will give you all 6 shows next season. I guarantee at some point next season, we will do 6 shows. When or what those shows might be, that's still sort of up in the air right now. But again, you can find all that information on our website, mesaencoretheatre.com. Okay, on to tonight. You might be watching this from different platforms. If you are logged into the Zoom webinar, we recommend that you watch tonight in gallery mode. However, most of you are going to be watching just from your YouTube stream, so you won't need to worry about that. We are thrilled tonight to have the playwright here with us, Nathan Makaryk. He's going to do a little intro, and then at the end of the reading tonight, he will open it up to questions from the viewing audience. So if you're in the webinar, you can actually chat directly to us with those questions. If you're watching from YouTube, just locate the comments section and you can ask Nate your questions there. And feel free to ask throughout the evening. Don't have to wait till the end. Put those questions in the comments and we'll compile them and we'll have them ready to go for Nathan at the very end of the show. We will have a brief 5-minute intermission before we start Act 2. And I just want to remind everyone that tonight is essentially, a glorified table reading of this script. We are going to work hard to make it as engaging and powerful as we can. But there are some elements that might happen that we might not have any sort of control over. So if an actor maybe loses their place, or even worse, if someone's internet goes down or the connection gets real bad, then our stage manager, Suze St. John, will jump in and get us back on track. So if all of a sudden you just hear this strange woman's voice disappearing, you'll know exactly what that is. I also briefly want to take a moment to thank Justin McBride, who is our marketing director, and he set up all of this, all the technical side, the live streaming, all of that. So thank you so much, Justin, for that. This is only the second cast ever to read this script. This play has only been produced one time, and that was in Southern California at the Maverick Theater in 2012. We are very fortunate to have a few of those cast members from that show reading the script with us tonight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go around the room and meet all of our performers tonight.
Hi, everybody. My name's Frank Tryon. I was fortunate enough to be part of the original cast in 2012 here in Southern California, and I will be reading the role of Robin of Locksley.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Harris, and I have been invited and honored to read Sir William de Wendenell, and I'm recording here in Mesa, Arizona.
Hello, boys. My name is Larry Cregan, and I'll be playing the part of Little John Little. I was in the original play in 2012, and I am streaming from Anaheim, California.
Hello, my name is Jacob Hunter. I was also in the original production in California in 2012, in which I read the role of Will Scarlett, which I'll be doing again today from California.
Hello, everyone. My name is Noah Brown. I have the honor, nay, the pleasure of reading the role of Alan Adale, and I'm streaming here from Tempe, Arizona.
Hello, my name is Jeff Davey, and I will be playing Friar Tuck. And I just found out my family is connecting, so the bar has been raised.
Hi, everybody. I am Julie Gore. I will be reading for the part of Lady Marian, and I'm here in my castle, which I cannot reveal the location of.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Broder. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm reading the part of Elena.
Rob Stewart here from Gilbert, Arizona. I'll be reading the role of Guy of Gisborne.
Hi, I'm Esty Oglesby, and I'm here in Tempe, Arizona, and I'll be reading for the part of Arable de Burrell.
Hi, my name is Patrick Walsh. I'll be reading for Roger DeLacy, and I'm here in Mesa, Arizona.
Hi there, it's Dave again. I am reading for the role of William de Ferrers, which I was lucky enough to originate in the Southern California original production. I'll also read for the villager Monday, who's in West.
Hi, I'm Elliot Noah Thompson. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm going to be playing Much the Miller's son.
Hi, my name is Ben Mosdale. I am in Phoenix, Arizona. I'll be playing the role of Stutley and Guard.
Hi, I'm Alexa Duke in Mesa, Arizona, and I'm not playing anything. I'm just going to be telling you what all these other wonderful people are actually doing.
And hello, my name is Nate Makaryk. I am the playwright, and I will also be stepping in as my personal dream role, guard number 2. Dave asked me to give just a little bit of the history of this show before we get started. I'm going to save most of it for the Q&A at the end because I'd rather we get into the production as fast as possible. But just a brief history. So this story began in 2011. I'm an owner of the Maverick Theater in California, and my theater partner there was suggesting some shows that we do. And all of my shows usually have a lot of sword combat in them because I'm a combat choreographer as well. And he proposed the idea of doing a Robin Hood show. And my first instinct was to say no, because the reality is that I don't like Robin Hood. And that's not to say that I don't like all the things about Robin Hood. I love everything about Robin Hood. I love swords and castles and bows and arrows and all that stuff. But there's something specifically about Robin Hood that has always gotten my goat. And I don't think that any movie or a TV show ever really nailed it, which is that I've just always hated the idea that Robin is an unbelievably altruistic good guy and that the sheriff is this mustache twirling villain. And I wanted a story that brought both of those towards the center. And so I wrote the show. And the show went extremely well in California back in 2012. And as soon as it was done, everyone just kind of said, hey, what do you do with the script afterwards? And the reality was the next step for it was to become a novel. And so I spent the next couple of years and eventually ended up with this. So this is the novel Nottingham, which is the novelization of this play that you are about to hear. Actually, novelization of both the play and a whole lot more. It's significantly longer than the play is, which was a bad idea, but more on that later. Anyways, another way you can help the Mesa Encore Theatre throughout the course of this presentation, the book is for sale through their website. We have a good deal with the publisher Tor Forge, who's very kind to allow us to sell the book, and the proceeds do go to Mesa Encore Theatre if you go through their link. There's also an option to get a version of the book that is signed by me. And again, all of that money goes to them as well. So if you enjoy what you hear, then hopefully you might want to spend a little bit more time and dig deeper into the book itself. And also I should mention right now that the book actually has a sequel coming out this September. So at the end of production, if you just want to know where the story keeps going, there is more story to be told. All right, so with that, sit back, relax, enjoy the best thing you can get, some live theater right now, as we present to you Mesa Encore Theatre's production of the legend.
Act 1, Scene 1, Sherwood Forest, a road. Lights come up on a path running through Sherwood Forest, Nottinghamshire, England, in the year 1191. It is daytime, but the trees are thick and block most direct sunlight. Starting off stage, we hear two men, Robin of Locksley and William de Windenal, both dressed in studded leather and each carrying a pack, a bow, sword, and quiver.
It even smells more like home, doesn't it?
Funny how easily that takes you back.
We'll have plenty of time to smell it.
It doesn't matter how long it takes. Knew that it would open up on me again. A message for King Richard. We received your men after they crawled to the Sherwood, but we regret to say that by the time they arrived, the war was long over.
Not at all. To the king. We received one of your messengers, a devastatingly attractive man whom we have since anointed as duke. Another man was curiously found dead in the woods, having taken his own life in embarrassment for having lost the horses.
I didn't lose the horses.
Well, I certainly didn't lose them.
What's leading again? We'll get new horses in Clipston.
You'll get new horses in Clipston?
I'll get new horses in Clipston. If I had the crown right now, who would refuse a horse to King Richard the Lionheart?
With that limp, rather Richard the Clubfoot, you'd best hope it heals right, or you'll be out of the guard.
Well, I'm sure the fellow who shot me thought quite a bit of himself. I shot the king, he'd say.
Yes, I shot him. Wondrous thing, though. An hour later, I saw him running through the field as though nothing had happened. Their king must be invincible.
Looked as though he were 20 pounds heavier, even.
Oh, where would Richard be without us?
He is without us. Let him wear his own crown for a bit. It's not my crusade. More than happy to go looking for missing supplies.
On foot, we may not make Nottingham Castle by nightfall. We can't find the horses. We may want to head west to Derbyshire, find quarters for the night.
Well, we're not far from my father's estate. We'll get the horses and then we'll get to Nottingham.
Then we'll get drunk.
Agreed, King William.
Agreed, King Robin.
At this, Will Scarlet and Alan Adale slink out of the shadows, both young men. They playfully circle around the rock, but do not draw any weapons.
Did you hear that, Alan? We're amongst royalty.
I didn't realize we had more than one king.
How didn't I mention that I'm a king?
You know, you might have, I couldn't hear you over my own kingliness.
I'd advise against sneaking up on members of the king's personal guard unannounced.
Unless you have a reason for this interruption, I suggest you move along, gentlemen.
The king's personal guard?
Which king?
Me or him?
Richard the Lionheart.
Never heard of him.
I thought our king's name was Henry.
That sounds right. He's the one with his face on all those pretty little pieces of gold we've been finding, isn't it?
But you've been finding. Your luck is extraordinary.
It is, thank you. You see, whenever we come across a couple of kings like yourselves, which seems to happen all the time these days.
All the time?
You find more and gold. Sometimes on the ground, sometimes in their pockets, sometimes in their hands, which we have to pry open.
Which is why we'd prefer it to be on the ground.
And we prefer this to happen quickly.
If you don't mind.
Gentlemen, we are expected at Nottingham Castle by Baron Roger de Lacy.
Oh, the sheriff's waiting for him.
This is not a fight you should be picking.
Whoa, who said anything about a fight?
Well, I never said that word.
We were, in fact, downright civil.
Until the good king here with his boot in his hand started issuing threats.
Well, I don't want to get in a fight. Maybe they're right.
Frankly, I prefer not to fight as well. We sincerely apologize for getting in your way, your royal highnesses.
Highnesses.
Wait.
Highnesses.
I actually have a friend who would downright love to get in a fight.
Oh, there's no need to bother him.
Well, I would normally agree with you, but
these
two good gentlemen seem to...
Kings?
These two good kings seem to be begging for a fight.
He has a point.
He does.
Then we are all in agreement?
Hello, John! It'll be just a moment.
Perhaps you hadn't...
There's no need to stand up for him. He's not royalty.
As we are.
As we are.
Very interesting make of that blade you have there.
Family heirloom.
He's on his way.
That blade, along with many just like it, due to be delivered to King Richard's army not long ago.
Oh, I've a large family.
Not to mention quite a bit of gold, clothing, food.
Here's my friend now. Goes by the name of John Little. Don't let his name fool you.
John Little meanders down the path to join them. A large and impressive man carrying a large and impressive quarterstaff.
Now at least we know what they did with the food.
Oh, boys, what a beautiful morning, wouldn't you agree? Well, enough of the small talk. Why don't you hand over your belongings before I break open your skulls?
All right, then.
Robin and William take off their packs and kneel down to open them up, stealing the chance to whisper briefly amongst themselves.
What do you think of our chances?
They're just trying to scare us. These are bandits, not murderers. But we can't lose the letters from the king.
I say we split up.
Agreed. You make a run for it with the letters. I'll distract them.
No, I'll stay. You run. My leg?
Right. I'll wait a bit for you in Clipston. Otherwise, I'll be back this way tomorrow.
Well, I'm bored.
All right, you two, let's see what you have.
Go on, I'll be right behind you.
Here we are, follow me.
William taunts Alan, who chases him after him off stage. Little attacks Robin. Robin takes a few blows from Little and is too far from his sword, but then he finds a fallen limb of comparable size to Little's staff.
A nice stick.
Stick?
They exchange a quick volley of attacks, both parrying the other in rapid succession.
Seems as though we've had the same teacher.
Same teacher, you say? This is my game.
I think I've got a handle on you now.
Robin dives into another set of blows.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
That was fancy. How about this? You're a court jester.
That took me 2 weeks to learn that.
Oh, no, that's funny.
What'd you say would put an end to this, then?
What follows is an excerpt from the novel, which we'll be using to replace certain sections of the stage directions. John Little raised his eyebrows and laughed, so Robin laughed, and then they both laughed harder. And when Little attacked, it was the same lunge he'd used before. Robin feigned hard away and slapped his branch up and quick onto John's knuckles, then fast around to bury the south end into his exposed armpit. As the massive quarterstaff fell to the water, Robin pushed the middle of his branch up fast and hard into John Little's nose, which gave way, blood popping out each side. Little's lumbering weight toppled backwards into the river with a crash and a heavy splash. Robin was quick to follow. He raised his weapon, wanting to smash it down again to give back a little bit of what he'd taken. But Little's battered face was wrought with blood and defeat, his hands out in surrender. Water rushed over his shoulders and into his mouth. Robin's muscles tensed and he blinked it away and let the branch dangle loosely from his hand. But even with water still clearing from his ears, he realized there was another noise in the melee. Sharp steel touched his back, just so, between the plates and the leather, just hard enough to keep him off balance.
Be perfectly clear about what's about to happen. I'm going to tell you to surrender. You're going to foolishly turn and attack me. I'm going to sink one knife through your ribs and another through your back. And in 1 hour, when I've washed your blood off my blades in the river, I will have a very nice lunch and forget about my mourning entirely.
You're a cocky little thing.
I know when I'm right.
Well,
you do this a lot, I imagine. It's not a bad living if you can keep it up.
Stalling to catch your breath.
Most people don't put up too much of a fight. They aren't expecting it.
I'm hungry.
Unfortunately, I've actually traveled quite a distance just to find you. Didn't think you'd make it easier by coming out and greeting me.
What does the king's private guard want with me? Recruitment?
Well, not just you, but all of you. I presume there are more than 3 of you.
Hold your say a moment. Seems we're at a bit of a misintroduction. Stow your medal. Scarlet?
They're not satisfied yet.
Stow them. Do you know King Richard?
I've been by his side for the better part of a year.
In battle?
More often not.
Are you a knight?
No, I was an archer once, but...
You're a long way from the war.
He's a long way from the truth, I'd say. Here.
Scarlet draws an arrow from the quiver on the ground and hands it to Robin.
For your life, I bet you couldn't hit that tree down there.
As soon as it's in his hand, Robin snaps the arrow over his knee.
Hey.
I'm not here to fight.
I'll bet he's a deserter.
Get out with it.
I'm not a deserter, but there are plenty of men who are. The army's supplies are dwindling. Weapons, food, supplies that are supposed to be coming from home aren't making it to the men, specifically those coming through the Nottinghamshire. You figure it might be the sheriff keeping it for himself.
No, it's definitely the sheriff.
Why don't we lean on each other? We'll let you go about your way, and in return, you can kill the sheriff to your heart's content.
Kind enough, excepting 3 things. First, I won't be killing the sheriff. That's not really sane.
A pity.
Second, more importantly, is you're the ones stealing the supplies, not the sheriff.
Solid point.
And the third?
The third, being that it wouldn't be you letting me go, it'd be me letting you go.
We're your prisoners then.
Oh, that's right.
Hey!
Oh, what's that?
Thought you ought to be introduced to the rest of your prisoners.
From down the road and out of the trees arrived the remainder of Little's companions.
Hope you don't mind the imprisonment of women, children, men of the cloth amongst.
My prisoners all.
Who'd you catch, darling? Someone important?
Apparently so.
All your own?
Well, Alan ran off, and John spent some time sitting on the ground, so yes, all of my own.
There was never a doubt.
Elena kisses Scarlet.
My apologies to all, but we are surrendered. Quiet now. This here is a friend of the sheriff, and he's asked for our captivation. So we've had a good time, but it seems this here is the end. You're a prisoner, John Little.
Pleasure to meet you, John.
Will Scarlet you've met. That one attached to his side is Elena. You'll need a double cell for the 2 of them. It's awful hard to keep them separate.
Lady Gamwell will do fine.
Lady Gamwell.
A few more of your prisoners, Arthur O'Bland, David of Doncaster. And here's the miller's son, Much.
That's your name, Much?
It's more of a nickname.
Well, that's not a very good name now, is it?
It's better than what they called me before.
And what was that?
Not much.
Much steps forward and punches Robin in the arm with all his strength.
Oh.
That's for laughing.
Lastly amongst those here is the Colonel Friar Tuck.
A friend of the sheriff's?
Friend of the king's.
Funny, isn't it, how different those two answers are? And your name was?
Robin of Locksley. John, may I have a word with you?
Your servant.
What's going on here?
How long have you been gone?
Robbery's nothing new in the Sherwood, but women and children? Are you living out here like this?
I do what I can to protect them. Yeah, that includes banditry.
You lead these people?
Not quite, but they respect me.
You've put them all in quite a bit of danger. If you feel obliged to help them, you cannot continue as you have.
Go on.
My friend that ran off, William de Wendenall, has orders for the sheriff from the king to do anything necessary to keep his supplies safe. He'll send men to hunt you out of the Sherwood. You'd be wise not to be present when he does.
Where would we be wise to be?
Wherever it was you called home before this.
Again, how long have you been gone?
2 springs ago.
You missed a lot, Locksley. Nottinghamshire is not a safe place for those who can't afford to pay their taxes. We're better off in the forest, trust me. Aside, my friend Alan is sure to outrun your friend William, so I wouldn't bet our safety quite yet.
Are you familiar with Locksley Castle?
More than passing.
My father's long been a friend to those in need, usually to a fault. You and your people can set up something more comfortable there, earn an honest living.
Your father is...
What in the blazes is happening here?
We've been captured.
What?
You let him get away from you?
You let us get captured?
You are my prisoners all. I can offer you the finest cells in all of England. Lots of open air, no walls, that sort of thing. Listen, get your families out of the woods. You can stop robbing the caravans to Richard's army, and my father will help you out with the tax collectors, and I can get back to where I belong.
Lead the way.
Scene 2, Nottingham Castle, Sheriff's Office. The scene shifts to a darkish room in Nottingham Castle, the office of the Sheriff of Nottingham. A table with various maps and scrolls on it, and a few chairs are about. Seated here is Baron Roger de Lacy, dressed well, but not pompously. There's a modest painting of himself on the wall. He's reading several papers, signs one and seals it with a wax seal. Eventually, through his door enters Guy of Gisborne, captain of the Sheriff's Guard, leading William de Wendenall.
Baron, pardon the urgency.
No need. What is it?
I bring word from King Richard.
He claims he was with Richard's private guard. He carries letters to that effect, but their seals were broken.
They were damaged.
Thank you, Lord Gisborne. Do I recognize you?
William de Wendenall. We met once.
Ah, yes, I thought so. Go on, Gisborne. I'm sure you have other people to harass.
I'll be close.
Oh, I'd like to say he means well, but I'm a poor liar.
Baron, I come with an urgent matter from King Richard himself.
How is your father?
Well, last I heard, which was some time ago.
Good. Sit, drink some wine.
Thank you.
How long will you stay? Do you need some lodgings?
I may. The length of my stay will depend on the successful termination.
I'll find something for you. So you're here to talk about stolen supplies?
I am.
Then talk. At least that way Richard will find himself that you've tried your best before being sent away.
King Richard doubts either your loyalty or your abilities as sheriff.
Both are beyond reprisal, but of course I can't prove that. Let him then appoint someone else to be sheriff. I never wanted it. You can have it if you'd like, but in 6 months, he'll send a replacement for you as well. because it's not my intelligence which starves his army.
I'm not here to replace you.
The people are hurting. We raise taxes, you know, to send support to Richard's crusade. The people get angry and some don't pay at all. So we don't actually increase our coffers because it all balances out, to which Richard brilliantly replies, well, raise the taxes again.
Baron, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is a gang of outlaws in the Sherwood operating with, apparently, wanton freedom.
Have you looked at my face, William?
What am I looking for?
Do you see any scars? Do you see the broken chunks of wood embedded in my flesh?
No.
Do you want to know why my face remains unscarred and unembedded with broken chunks of wood?
No.
It's because I do not regularly make a habit of ramming my own face into this table here, even when it otherwise sounds like an excellent idea. Do you know why I do not regularly ram my face into the table?
Do tell.
Because I am not an idiot. I am well aware of the brigands in the Sherwood. I know precisely what they have taken from the king, and I know that I have a foot on the end of each of my legs. I hope that you have not traveled this far to tell me things of which I already have an intimate knowledge.
I have not. I have come because I have friends in the war who don't have a sword to fight with. As I have traveled home to fix this problem, the man who stole these very swords assaulted me in the forest. You'll forgive me if I find the solution to this problem glaringly obvious.
Oh, Gisborne.
I apologize.
Guy of Gisborne re-enters the room. Outside the door, we can see his squire of sort, William de Ferrers, to whom he was presumably speaking.
Baron.
Come inside, both of you.
Ferrers.
Lord Windanil. This is Lord Guy of Gisborne, captain of the guard.
We met.
Gisborne, William and I were discussing options for the outlaws in the Sherwood. The other day, you had a solution of your own.
I said we should put their heads on pikes, all of them.
Would that appease the king, William?
If it would keep his army fed.
Yet it's not my duty to feed the army. It's my duty to enforce justice. Would this be justice to kill the outlaws?
They've made their choice. Let them hang by it.
Do you consider an eye for an eye to be a fair enough principle?
In many circumstances.
Then by what right would we take their lives? They haven't killed anyone, and I have no intention of making them feel that they should. By justice, what we should do is take back that which they have stolen, and by any rational means, we stole it from them first with these ridiculous taxes. I'd say we're lucky they haven't started killing anyone, and I'm certainly not going to be certain to be in their right mind to do so.
And what of the king's army? Without supplies, our soldiers desert or die. Richard's army is dwindling. The war is failing.
I will not aggravate them. Leave these outlaws to their own. They will soon realize that there is no great opposition. They are poorly organized. They won't last long. So the last thing I want to do is rally them by fueling their need for an enemy. If a few shipments get lost traveling through the Sherwood, so be it. The rest can go east to the shore. Besides, the king has supplies coming from plenty of other places.
Perhaps my men and I should join the rebels. Pretty soon they'll be paid better than we are.
I was traveling with a friend, another member of the Royal Guard. We were separated, and he may be held captive by these outlaws.
Oh, I doubt they'll hurt him. They'll take his things and let him loose. I can send scouts for him. What's his name?
Robin of Locksley.
Robin of Locksley.
Do you know him?
No, but I had dealings with his father. When the first tax was raised, Sir Walter of Locksley was one of the first to come bearing complaint. What followed was not that desirable.
I'd like to accompany your scouts.
Take Gisborne and a few men. Oh, Locksley.
Perez, ready the horses.
Hi.
Have you eaten?
Not much.
Gisborne, send in a girl. The weapons are missing.
What of them?
You're right. Those need to get to King Richard. Find any opportunity to parley with the rebels and reclaim the weapons. Will that help you out at all, William?
I believe it would. Do you think they'll agree?
Ask for a man named John Little. He should be reasonable.
Thank you.
Are you sure you're not here to replace them?
Those were not my orders.
But if they were, would you do it?
What do you mean?
Think about it. Roger de Lacy. Do you like that name?
It's a fine name.
Mm-hmm.
De Lacy exits, and William is left alone in the office.
Right?
Shortly, Gisborne returns, followed by Arable de Burrell, a servant to the sheriff.
Perhaps you could bring me a chicken leg while you're at it. Actually, I'd like 2 legs.
I'll bring them to the stables, your Lord Gisborne. William?
Arable!
Be quick about it. I've got to go rescue this fellow's friend from a bunch of spoiled children. Don't worry, I won't be in much danger.
Did I worried?
Hurry up with the food.
William, it's so good to see you. We feared the worst.
The worst? Nothing to fear. I'm alive and well.
Yes, but nobody has heard from you in so long. Have you seen your father?
Not yet. I don't know that I'll get a chance to.
Oh, you have to. Wait, you're not staying?
Can't. How are you?
It has been a while, hasn't it? A lot has changed, as you can see.
What are you doing like this?
What's this, your friend?
I'm on an errand for King Richard. Once it's settled, I'll have to be off again.
Nothing dangerous?
No.
William, there's a shortage of good men here in Nottingham.
I can't stay.
Baron de Lacy could use someone like you. Someone trustworthy.
Why do you say that?
He talks to me when I'm in the room. He doesn't have much support here, and he worries about Gisborne.
Gisborne?
That lecherous, bloodthirsty. I'm afraid of him.
Has he threatened you?
There was another girl. He had his eyes on her for a while, and she refused him. One night he had drunk quite a bit, and he cut her face up.
What? Why hasn't the sheriff done anything about it?
It doesn't matter.
I think de Lacy was asking if I might take his place.
Are you serious?
I couldn't tell. Or he may have been asking if I was going to kill him.
What?
I'm not sure. I'll have a word with Gisborne, see to it that he behaves himself around you.
Please don't mention anything.
Don't worry, I'll be discreet. I promise you. You won't have to worry about him anymore.
You shouldn't make me promises, William. The last promise you made was that you'd come back.
And I did. I'm here.
Yes, well...
I have to go, I'm sorry.
You won't eat?
I'll see you again.
Don't say that.
I promise it. I can't believe you're here.
Scene 3, Locksley Castle. Robin walks alone, aghast at the destruction around him. We see ruined castle walls and debris all about, the remains of Locksley Castle. Little, Scarlet, Elena, and Tuck enter as well, kicking about things on the floor, but not foreign to the devastation.
Not quite home sweet home.
Locksley Castle, thank you so much for the fine accommodations.
And here.
Something that shouldn't have.
Sorry I didn't tell you. Dr. Thuis, you've better seen.
So little left.
Any number of travelers have had their pick of the place, even the rocks.
I've been here myself once or twice. No offense. On an apron.
Twice apron?
You're telling me the sheriff did this?
His men.
Can you imagine the sheriff himself out here? The only brains that Pissmy has is to keep himself hidden at Castle Rock.
Where's my father?
They burned him.
Will.
That's not how it happened.
You were here.
I was. Robin. Your father was one of the finest men I've known. Foolish to be so fine in such a world as ours.
What happened?
The sheriff's guard came to evict him.
And he fought back?
For whatever reason, he ended up in the stables and had nowhere else to retreat. A guard went in to grab him, and he came out a moment later, blood pouring out of his nose.
Your father had an arm for horseshoes.
Well, nobody wanted to step foot inside the stables after that, until someone had the good idea to smoke him out.
Oh, no.
Once the fire caught, there was nothing else anyone could do. It was a terrible accident. But no matter how it happened, word traveled quickly that the sheriff was burning down houses, even of noble men like your father, who didn't pay their taxes.
Ho!
It's Alan. Ho!
Alan enters, guiding Lady Marian with him. She is clearly only interested in finding and talking to Robin.
Does anybody need a pretty lady? I found one just wandering around.
How pretty.
How pretty? Of all things, Robin!
Lady Marian.
I didn't believe it when I heard it. Now here you are, as if the years were a heartbeat.
Not for this place.
I'm so sorry, Robin. My family did everything we could.
What are you doing here?
Well, it's nice to see you too.
No, that's not what I meant.
What are you doing here? I didn't know the war was over.
He is our prisoner.
Oh, wait. I thought it was the other way around.
Are you serious?
Well, that's what you told me.
There's 5 of us, and we have the weapons.
Oh, no, I know that we're not actually his prisoners.
Boys!
There's a cave up in the rocks up there. Now, it doesn't look like much, but it opens up. We used to store rations there. I promised you all whatever help I could offer. But that may be it.
I'll give it a look. Let's go, pretty lady.
Not gonna be anything left.
Hard to find. The food may be spoiled, but wine should be good.
Ooh, wine, you say?
You're not even to run off, are you?
You care?
Sorry about all this.
It's good to see you. Alive.
No idea things had grown so bad.
You know, your father was something of a hero.
Hero?
He housed a lot of people here. Paid their taxes for them.
Why did they evict him if he was paying his taxes?
Oh, he didn't pay his own, just theirs. He thought he could prove a point. He thought he was too prominent to be evicted.
Sounds as though my father only made things worse.
No, he was trying to help people.
The people that he was trying to help have been routed out of their villages and chased into the forest. Are they better off now, stealing what they can to survive, than they were paying higher taxes?
There's no way he knew where this would lead.
He died hiding in a stable, throwing horseshoes at tax collectors. This is a great hero? What was he fighting for?
It's easy to fight for something you believe in. Your father chose to fight for something that others believed in, simply because they couldn't fight for themselves. That's a hero.
He should have known better. He had plenty of money to pay.
Why don't you come to my estate?
Well, it's very good of you, but there's nothing for me here.
Nothing?
I should return to King Richard.
You could stay. People would listen to you. You could help things.
The way my father helped things? By escalation? This is the sort of situation that will slowly go away. If there are any more conflicts, the two sides will push themselves even farther away from each other. But if they just go back to their villages and stop stealing from the sheriff, then he won't persecute them and everything will be fine. The only solution is to do nothing. I'm good at fighting, not very good at doing nothing. I'll need no help here.
Fine. You're right. There's nothing worth fighting for here.
Oh, Marian, you know that.
Oh, look alive! We've got company.
Enter William, making his way through the rubble.
Now there's a hero!
Thank God.
Hello again.
Now, why did I bother chasing after you if you were going to walk right in through my arms, eh?
Put your weapons down.
Excuse me?
How'd you find me?
This wasn't the first place I looked. These are your friends now.
Well, we've come to an understanding.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I'm understanding this understanding.
I'm looking for a man named John Little.
Yeah, he's here. He'll be back shortly.
You'll be keeping your mouth shut?
I mean to negotiate a peace between your men and the sheriff.
A peace?
Smells of a trap to me.
You may want to listen to the offer.
As captain of the guard to the Sheriff of Nottingham, I give you one chance to lay down your arms.
I've got a hold of this, thank you.
Is your friend amongst these men?
That's him.
Well then, I've accompanied you on your search, and our task is complete. Happily, your search has led me to the very heart of the woodland rebels, a matter which I guarantee you I hold the authority.
Roger asked me.
The sheriff has been in search of these criminals for some time, and if they will not go peacefully, I will arrest those still capable of walking when I am through with them.
How are your legs, Alan?
Oh, I think I'll be walking fine. Yours?
It does.
There'll be no blood spilled here today. This is my father's land passed on to me, and if you need to arrest someone on my land, you will kindly bring the matter to me.
Robin of Locksley, your father failed to pay his taxes, and his land was reclaimed in the name of the king. I will take who I please.
You will take no one. Lord Gisborne, the sheriff himself, told me these men were not to be harmed or arrested.
What?
I have come with an offer of peace, and that peace will be respected.
Let's hear it then.
John Little.
Aye?
I am Lord William de Wendenall. I speak for the sheriff.
Go on then.
He does not wish to aggravate you, only to find some common ground.
Spirits of these ruins may disagree.
An unfortunate coincidence. Perhaps we can give them some peace.
What does he propose?
You will not be persecuted for your crimes of thievery against the king, provided that you can return what you can of the weapons belonging to the king's armies, and will refrain from interfering with future shipments. All else is forgiven.
All is forgiven?
All we have to do is just hand over our weapons?
What the hell do you forgive us for?
Will!
Maybe instead we get out those very weapons you're asking for and watch you run for the hills.
Stay.
There's a slight problem with your plan, Windenell. Most of those weapons have long been sold off. Some we have, the rest sold for soup and bread. So then what are we to...
Forget the weapons. Return to your homes, return to your lives. Let this pass.
John, think of these people. Think of the women and children. You can get them back to a better life.
If there's no deal, I'll take these men into custody.
I think I may take something of my own.
Elena deftly walks out of the shadows and brings a knife against Gisborne's throat.
No!
Elena!
We come in peace!
Back down, girl!
Put your weapons down or I'll slice him open right now.
Do you see, William, what we've been up against? These men only know violence.
Be careful who you call a man.
That is quite enough from everyone.
My apologies, lady, but I'm not sure I know you.
My name is Lady Marian, and I am kin to King Richard the Lionheart. You will hear me out.
You stand with these outlaws.
I stand for what I believe to be right, as do you.
What do you have in mind?
I will accompany you to the sheriff, along with John Little, whom you will promise safe passage. The four of us will come to an agreement. Until then, both sides will remain at bay.
Little, do you agree with this?
Don't do it, John.
All they need is an excuse to put you away.
I won't allow that.
Aye, lady, I agree.
First, call off your men.
Elena, come on, girl, let him be.
Elena slowly removes her knife from Gisborne's throat, puts it away, and begins to retreat.
Bitch.
Tiniest moment of weightlessness passed before it all fell. Elena was on the captain within 2 steps, too quick for either to draw a weapon, and barreled into Gisborne with both fists wailing. The guard closest to Elena caught a fistful of her hair and yanked her back hard, wrenching her off Gisborne and thankfully into submission. But Will Scarlet cleared half the room in a heartbeat to help her, leaping over rubble. There was no chance to explain it. The riots of the room overwhelmed thought. 2 guards converged and tackled Scarlet to the ground, then buried a fist into his stomach. Then again, a third, then his face. The rest of Jonathan's crew was surging forward, with Robin and William the only thing between them and the rest of the guardsmen. Steel drew across steel, the sharp pang of weapons finally drawn and colliding. Alan barely dodged a thrust that would have skewered him, and tried to defend himself from another slash, but the impact jostled him off balance, sending him to the ground. Robin took the opportunity to grab Alan by the damned scruff of his neck and hoist him to safety. A sharp cry of pain rested their attention to Captain Gisborne. Elena was biting into his hand, which he'd clearly been using to fire. He released her and smashed the back of his other hand across her face. She went tumbling, stumbling back, where she engaged several guardsmen, her face lit up with excitement. She was the joyous heart of a whirlwind. She slashed low, caught one guard's sword, and used it to capture a second. A hairy guard came down high onto her, but she slipped underneath him, grabbed his beard, and yanked his face down as she smashed her knee into his teeth. She screamed as loud as he did, hers a shrill war cry, and his in toothless, bloody horror. She enjoyed her victory for only a split second, as William wrapped his arm around her waist from behind and her like a child. She squirmed and wriggled, but threw her away from the melee as if she were nothing. Both Robin and William kept their blades sheathed until now, but now in a single graceful movement, he and William rolled around each other, each blade piecing out. Robin disarmed Elena with a well-practiced flick, but twisted his blade into the head of the guardsman's halberd, and it leapt from its owner's hands. The captain and his guard regrouped on one side of the room, while the outlaws retreated to the fire.
This isn't over.
Get your men out of here.
I'll see each and every one of you in the prison, and my face will be the last thing you see.
Gisborne, Ferrers, and the guards begin to exit. William lingers to speak with Robin.
This is out of control.
This is not our problem. We've done what we came here for.
So we just leave?
The supplies are gone. What else can we do?
What about these people?
What about them?
Nottingham is going to rip itself to shreds.
All the more reason for us not to be here.
What's the point, Robin? What's the point of going back to a war if we can't keep the peace here in our own land? What are we fighting for then? What are we trying to protect?
Right, but this isn't our fight.
Oh, please, it's Richard's war, our fight.
We have a responsibility to fight for England.
And let's fight for her people. So they're not subject to what we see in the war. There can be peace here in Nottinghamshire. They simply need someone to show them how.
All right. Shall we split up again?
I think I can make some headway with the sheriff. What about you?
Well, I'll do what I can. I can't promise they'll listen.
Keep them out of trouble. I'll keep the sheriff off their backs.
We can't get too entangled here.
1 week. Peace or no peace, we meet here at sundown in 1 week.
1 week, then we'll go home.
Good luck, Robin.
I hope you know what you're doing.
William departs, and the men assemble about the ruins.
Home?
And not this place.
We'd better prepare for their return.
You idiots! You brought this all on yourself, all of it!
What would you have us do?
Do you honestly think you can take on the Royal Sheriff's Guard? 12 of you. You'll be decimated.
We're 100 strong and growing.
Women and children, John, untrained fighters. You can brawl in a little skirmish like this, but they'll be organized, and when they return, you'll not stand a chance.
So teach us.
Ha!
You're something special with the King's army. Teach us how to fight.
You shouldn't be fighting at all.
You're not listening, Robin. We don't have homes to go back to. We have families to feed.
Robin is right. You're bringing too much attention to yourselves. When you steal from the army, the sheriff has to respond.
So don't steal from the army. Only take from those that can afford to lose it, and don't take more than they'll be able to do without. And keep the violence to an absolute minimum.
Feed yourselves, but don't forget there are other people out there who need hope.
You keep a low profile, low presence, and you endear yourself to the people.
We're still putting ourselves at risk. Alan's right. I'd like to know a little bit about what you know.
Now, violence is not the answer.
I know. But when it is the answer, we want to have the right answer, don't we?
And what else are you going to do for the next week?
They could use you. Stay.
On one condition.
Yes?
You stay too.
Robin,
I mean it. Now, that captain knows who you are, and I can't protect you if I'm in the woods. Stay with me. Help me teach these people.
Well, if you insist. Well, come along, everyone. Why don't you show me to my room?
Hello, love. My name's John Little.
Lady Marian, so pleased to meet you.
As the men depart, stay for a bit, looking around the castle one more time. Eventually, he chases after. Scene 4, Sherwood Forest, a road. A road in Sherwood Forest. And in the middle of the path is a log or a few rocks that likely don't belong there. On it sits Elena, and as far in front of her as possible is Scarlet. They are pretending to be within a moving carriage. Behind the carriage, Alan sneaks up on the right side, low and stealthy, and hides next to Elena, who is clearly not happy about pretending she can't see him. From in front of the carriage, Tuck walks down the path and holds his hands out to Scarlet.
Halt! Halt, please! Oh, thank you for stopping, kind sirs. The Lord has sent you to me, and for this I am thankful.
This is so stupid.
Ah, don't be hasty in passing judgment, my obviously wealthy friend who has no military affiliation.
You've got to be kidding me.
Alan, I can clearly see you.
Well, you say this is stupid, but I say wisdom comes from both within and from above, and from my friend over there to your left.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
I'm sure you wouldn't mind sharing this seat, would you?
Now, hold it. Now, don't get too close, Alan.
What?
Remember you two came after me? You were close enough, I was easily able to disarm Will.
You know, I do remember that.
Oh, shut it.
You didn't tell me that part.
You've got a bow on him. He's not going to make a move.
Here, let me.
Robin moves next to Scarlet, moves one hand in distraction, and suddenly makes a quick move with the other against Alan, disarms him, and turns the sword around so the point is against Alan's throat.
Dead. You see?
Yes, but you know what sort of men drive carriages for the wealthy? The kind that don't move like lightning.
You've already snuck up on him. That's proven to him that we have the upper hand. Now, we'll try to disarm him.
No, it's Tuck's turn.
Tuck doesn't get a turn. Go on, Will.
Aww.
Scarlet stares at Robin for a bit, intent on not making a move. Makes a slow, obvious move that mocked Robin, and then suddenly turns and lunges at Alan, assuming he'll be successful. Alan is able to get away in time while Robin moves in.
Son of a...
Sorry my friend snuck up on you there. Didn't realize how twitchy you were. I'm the same way, so I prefer you have no more sudden movements unless I accidentally kill you. Appreciate it.
If I kill you, it won't be accidental.
And keep it friendly. Remember, we're gentlemen. Good evening, ladies.
Stab, 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 dead.
At risk getting blood all over your lovely dress, I think not.
Yeah, she can kill you if she wants to. Yeah.
You can't see any of this. You're outside the carriage.
Elena, my darling, you are the prettiest girl in England, but I promise you that we would never find the likes of you escorted in a carriage.
I could be a lady.
Now this I've got to see.
Hey!
She can't do that. I'm outside the carriage. Those are the rules.
Good evening, Lady Gamwell.
Oh, a ruffian. Whatever shall I do?
Pains me to frighten you so. Lips such as yours should not be made to tremble. Please, accept my apology.
Oh, if only I were stronger and braver. But as it is, I am helpless.
Are those diamonds? I hardly noticed compared to your beautiful face. Does it really need such jewelry to compete with? I think not.
You think I'm beautiful? Well, I don't mind being robbed by you at all. Take it all. Take me, too.
Perhaps another time. On your way, and remember, this is our secret.
Oh!
Thank you, sir. Now make haste. There are dangerous folk out there.
Clearly.
Now here's something for your trouble. Feel free to catch the invisible cord.
What's this?
Always give a little something to the carriage driver.
Well, we give it right back.
The driver's not rich.
Well, he's certainly not poor.
But we want him to keep coming through the forest. His passengers won't know.
What if there are more men? Or they fight back?
Stay out of range, so they can't start a fight. And only steal from the rich. If they're not who we thought they were, apologize and let them go. You need the people on your side. always leave behind the carriage, so they think we're moving forward and still safe.
They exit, leaving Elena and Scarlett alone.
You let those thieves ravage me.
You seem to enjoy it.
Come on, Will. Where's your sense of humor?
What are we doing, Lena?
I know.
Stealing from rich old ladies and politicians? Only taking it up that the sheriff doesn't fight back. What's the point of all this?
I know.
I want the sheriff to know about us. I want him to fear us. We've been driven off our own lands for no reason, and we're supposed to go out of our way not to make him angry now.
You're right. I know you're right, and the others know you're right too, but just wait a little bit longer. Let them play Robin's game for a while, and the sheriff will put down his guard. That's when you'll be the one leading us into victory.
Yeah. I don't know what everyone likes so much about him.
Next week, he'll be gone and forgotten. But who has been fighting from the beginning? And who's the best fighter of them all?
In a clean fight, Robin wouldn't stand a chance.
And that's what men respect. Strength. Not some rich man's kid playing hero. Let's go.
Scene 5, Nottingham Castle, Sheriff's Office. Arable and William enter. Arable sets up a few drinks and pours them. They are in mid-conversation.
Only for a few more days?
Unfortunately so. Once this matter is settled, I need to report back to King Richard.
What if it takes longer than that?
There's probably not much else I can do about it. The last few days have been quiet, which has given me plenty of free time that I'm sure you're not complaining about.
No, I didn't say that.
She curls up to him and kisses his neck.
But what if you're killed in the war? You have no brothers, William. Who will carry on your family name?
Then I won't die.
You're invincible.
The door opens and Ferrers enters.
Lord Wendenall.
Lord Ferrers.
Baron de Lacy and Lord Gisborne will be here momentarily.
All right.
I should bring more glasses.
May I ask how long you've served under Lord Gisborne?
Lord Gisborne is not my master. I joined the Guards earlier this year for my own purposes.
Gisborne is captain of the guard, though. Do you not take orders from him?
My father is the Earl of Derby, as I will be someday, as well as the Sheriff of Derbyshire. I am here in Nottingham as an exercise in education.
Then you understand discretion?
Your affairs are your own.
Wendenall, thank you for coming.
Of course, Baron.
How quickly do you need anything? Hungry?
Nothing, thank you.
Troubling news from York.
York?
John Marshall, the High Sheriff of Yorkshire, has just been deposed. Care to ask why?
Why?
For lack of revenue sent to King Richard.
Who is his successor?
Osbert de Longchamp.
Ah, yes. Brother to the Chancellor. Unquestionable loyalty, no political experience, and a complete madman.
You think you're next?
Wouldn't you? The people who support me will quickly hear what's happening in Yorkshire. Then they will think I have been replaced. They'll distance themselves from me, especially if the new sheriff is someone as insane as Longchamp. Nobody with any power will want political ties to Roger de Lacy when that happens.
This all goes back to the outlaws in the Sherwood, who, if you had allowed it, would be in the prison at this moment.
What do you mean, if I had allowed it?
Your order for them not to be touched.
I gave no order.
My apologies. There was the possibility of peace talks. I thought it would be wise to assure them they would not be arrested.
They're criminals. What the hell is stopping us?
Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Gisborne. You are dismissed. You spoke for me?
With respect, Lord Gisborne would have slain them all had I not.
What is your charge here?
I came to ensure the safe delivery of supplies from Nottingham.
Which you have done?
Which includes securing the peace of Nottinghamshire for future deliveries.
Which you feel I cannot and have not done.
Which I feel you have not done. Until now, your orders have ranged from doing nothing to doing nothing.
Provoking the rebels will only make them stronger.
Provocation is not your only option. I nearly had their leader agree to come speak with you to a truce, something that both sides want, but you have not extended your hand.
Any truce would involve some punishment on their end.
They are children, acting out. They act out because they want for discipline.
De Lacy has found himself staring at his own portrait, which is hanging on the wall. He laughs in disgust.
Very good, Wendell. You have a keen eye and a strong grip, but this sheriff's seat has a way of tying one's hands with political chest thumping. The next man to sit here will have an easier time of it, and he will be a man of action where I was not.
The next man?
Lord Gisborne, of course.
You know this for certain?
I have no doubt. Unquestionable loyalty, no political experience. Good day, William.
Scene 6, Nottinghamshire, a village. Robin, Marion, Much, and Tuck are walking through a village. Scarlet, Little, and Elena are in the background as two villagers rush out. Stutley and Monday.
Give to those most in need, but be quick about it. We shouldn't linger.
I don't believe it.
I told you it was true. Good afternoon, friends. These are trying times, are they not?
Trying?
They are. Well, the Lord helps those who help themselves. So, help yourselves.
Tuck opens his hands to a pile of gold coins, which Monday and Stutley cautiously but hungrily pick from.
Go on, Much. See who else you can find.
Robin passes Much a bag of coins, which he happily runs off with, calling out for people.
Are you the one? Am I the one?
He means Robin Hood.
Excuse me?
Robin Hood? I suppose you're talking about the gentleman right there.
Robin Hood? Well, yes. Yes, that's me. Where'd I get that name from?
No idea. You wear a hood.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yes, that's me.
What they say about you isn't true, is it?
Of course it's true. Don't be rude.
What do they say?
Monday says you snuck right into the castle and stole out of the sheriff's pocket itself.
This is the sheriff's personal money. Ha ha! I got it!
I hear that.
Over in Burnsdale, they say Robin Hood and his men are given back to the people.
And his men?
And his men?
Who in their right mind would just throw away coin? This is a trick.
Is this the only name you've heard of?
No, there are stories about these men, too.
Oh, good. Have you heard of Will Scarlet?
Oh, yes, they say he challenged Robin to an archery contest, and Robin split his arrow in half, right down the middle.
What?
They say he's the best archer in the lands.
That's not what happened.
That's exactly what happened. My friends, Will Scarlet shot an arrow into a tree, and Robin Hood, without even looking, shot another one and split it twain.
Wow!
You know his story, don't you?
No.
He's the son of a wealthy landowner, you see, who refused to pay his taxes. Well, Robin Hood was fighting with King Richard, but he knew his friends and family needed him even more than the king himself.
Robin Hood? Who are you? Tuck Bold?
Let them tell stories. Stories are good for home.
Even if they're false?
Especially when they're false. I know that better than most people.
Ah. What exactly does the church think of what you're doing here?
The church or the Lord? The church would have us stay true to the laws of the land, but the Lord would have us stay true to our house. Our job is to simply do our best to keep those two in harmony. But as every choir boy knows, if you can't harmonize, then just hope nobody hears you singing.
I was never a choir boy.
Nor I.
Well, I'm glad you stayed.
I may no longer have a choice. I'm Robin Hood.
I like this Robin Hood character. Friend of the people.
Enemy of the law.
Are you worried about that at all?
William will vouch for me if it comes down to it. It's certainly not the first time I pretended to be something I wasn't.
That's true for everyone, I imagine.
You Familiar with the king's private guard?
You're the king's bodyguards, I assumed.
Well, for the most part, yes, but when we're on the battlefield, we actually take turns dressing in King Richard's armor. Never even touches his own crown. If he needs to give an order, he tells us and we give the command.
For what purpose?
So that an enemy were to get close, he would attack the wrong person.
So you're worried you have a target on your back now?
You know what I find interesting about that? It's a clever ruse designed to trick your enemy, but I'm willing to bet it works on your friends as well.
It did. In the armor, there's no way to tell.
So although you may have only been dressed as the king, for all intents and purposes, you were the king. People don't know the man. They know who the man represents. You tell someone, look there, see the crown? That's the king. And they'll believe you. That person becomes the king. It's not the man who's important. It's the story of the man.
King Robin.
Robin Hood.
Stop and listen, gentlemen. Let nothing you dismay. I shall tell you of a goodly man. His name was Robin Hood.
But you really weren't a choir boy, were
Robin
you?
was a prude outlaw, and against the law he fought. So courageous a leader as he was we. One, whether he wants to be or not.
Nobody sings songs about me.
They will, darling. You're 1,000 Robin Hoods. Did he really split your arrow in half?
He broke it over his knee.
I was just asking.
Scene 7, Nottingham Sheriff's Office. Roger DeLacy is sitting at his table, writing, clearly agitated. Arable enters the room with a tray of drinks for him.
Insufferable pissants! Sorry, not you. Those godforsaken, unforgrateful traitors.
Do you need anything else?
What I need is for every one of those short-sighted bastards to fall over dead. Can you do that for me? Can you just kill them all?
I'm certain I could not.
They're completely ignorant to what they're doing. I'd love to sit one down and explain it to him and watch his brains melt out of his ears so I could just shove it down his arrogant little throat. Where's Windano?
Waiting outside, Baron.
Well, get him in here. Gisborne too.
Right away.
She opens the door and ushers in William, Gisborne, and Ferrers.
You boys in the wood have really outdone yourselves this time.
What's happened?
Have they killed someone?
What? No. Well, maybe. But no, that's not the problem.
Quiet, Ferrers.
I've heard it too. The people are singing songs about Robin.
What? Do you think I care about who's singing songs about?
Why don't you just tell us?
Ferrers?
No, it's fine. Here's your first lesson in real politics, boy. You've got a duke and a farmer. The farmer sells vegetables. The duke has no money because he has money because he has money. Both pay taxes. Well, the taxes go up and the farmer stops paying them, which isn't the end of the world to me because he's not paying much anyway. But then a band of supposed heroes comes by, steals the duke's jewelry, and gives that money to the farmer. Now the farmer has no money and vegetables and realizes he'd rather be eating vegetables than sell them at all. So the duke has neither money nor vegetables. So he stops paying his taxes as well. And it doesn't matter who's sheriff, Nottingham is crumbling. Robin of Locksley doesn't know the damage he's doing. There's nothing more dangerous than a man who doesn't know his own cause.
So let us resolve the situation. Eliminate the outlaws.
How, Gisborne? You and 30 men go marching randomly into the Sherwood, hoping to get lucky? That forest is huge. We have no idea where they are, but they'll know where they are, and they'll know we are coming.
We can handle them in a fight.
They won't fight. They'll hide. They'll accomplish nothing besides their There's over 100 of them, women and children mostly. Would you imprison them all? We've had to feed them. It would take more money to organize an effort to search them out than it would to let them take our money. I should have given them the bloody subsidies.
Couldn't you put some of your men on escort duty? Provide accompaniment to anyone traveling through the Sherwood. You could protect their jewelry as well as get a more specific idea on where the outlaws may be camping.
That's not bad. But it gives the outlaws legitimacy. We're practically telling everyone that we know that they're in there and we can't stop them.
But we do know they're in there and we can't stop them.
If we can't find them, why not just draw them out?
Therese!
Go on.
The stories they tell about this Robin Hood, they call him an expert bowman. What if you held a public archery contest with a great prize? His pride alone would draw him out of the trees to compete. Then we capture him.
You know, the adults are speaking. Surely you are missed at your mother's teat.
You're an embarrassment, Ferrers. Wait outside.
What an ingenious plan. An archery contest.
He is an idiot.
Do you have any way of getting in touch with Robin?
No. No. No, I'm sorry.
Robin's not the only person who might know where the outlaws camp.
Well, I will not entertain that idea.
She gives them support, and you know it.
I trust I do not have to remind you who her family is?
Her family.
It's not an option. Well, let's be pragmatic then, Lord Gisborne. I want you to put together your men, all of them, and take the tax collectors, go everywhere that a tax is owed and make them pay in supplies, foodstuffs, anything, but no one is to be harmed.
You want to take supplies directly from the people?
They've already paid for them with their wares. Your boy Robin Hood gives them money.
We'll need a place to store it all.
Well, set up in the village, somewhere friendly, somewhere a bit outside the Sherwood. Gather it there and we'll transport it when we've all done.
I'll need a lot of men.
Take them all.
All help.
No bother waiting then.
Excuse me, my lord?
Huh. What is it, child?
May I ask, why don't you let Lord Gisborne search for them? You said you wanted them all dead.
I do wish them dead. I have no love for any of these cretins. But would that make me a good leader? Do you suppose to only act on my own personal desires?
You called them traitors, and they're breaking the law.
I wonder if they consider themselves traitors. My duty as baron, and perhaps as sheriff, is to do what is right by as many people as I can. Who am I to say what is more important than what they want? Besides, I won't be here much longer.
May I ask why?
Roger de Lacy. Do you like that name?
I do, actually.
I don't. I'd rather prefer Roger de Lesors. I stand to inherit my grandmother's lands, Aubrey de Lesors. Something tells me I won't miss Nottingham one bit, especially that.
Again, his eyes land on his own portrait.
You're a good man, Baron.
Unfortunately, you may be right. What's a shame is that doesn't mean anything.
Scene 8, Nottingham, Robin's camp. Robin is giving some fighting lessons to Much, as Little, Scarlet, Elena, and others are sitting nearby. They are loud and boisterous and cheering for Much.
Now watch your stance. Remember to keep your foot back.
I've been in a fight before.
And I'm sure you were ferocious. Now, how did I kill you?
You're bigger than me.
Doesn't matter who's bigger. Will Scarlet's not very big.
What?
Nothing.
You gave up your advantage. Wait for them to attack you.
That's boring.
Staying alive isn't boring. I'm only teaching you this so you can defend yourself, and you run away as fast as you can. You hear me?
I hear you.
Now, deflect as I come in. That's better.
You don't run away from fights.
Yes, but I'm much bigger than you.
Don't worry much. You'll be bigger than John Little someday, and you'll be the most feared fighter in all of Europe. And remember, self-defense is important, but don't forget about the element of surprise.
Death to the sheriff!
He runs and attacks Robin, who lets him jump on his back and spins him around a bit, then sets him down as he runs off.
Death to the sheriff?
I don't know where he got that.
Robin!
Robin Hood. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We found him wandering through the forest calling your name.
He insisted on talking to you.
And you brought him here?
You shouldn't let anyone know where our camp is.
Just listen to him, Robin.
Do you remember me? Stanley, we met on,
You said you had urgent news.
It's the sheriff. He's making raids. He's stealing right out of our homes.
What?
He wouldn't.
They kicked out my door and started taking everything.
He has no right.
Do you see what's going on? We lay low and stay out of the sheriff's way, and now he thinks he can do whatever he wants.
And it's not just my village. It's happening everywhere. I heard that they were kicked people out of their homes in Bairnsdale to make room for stockpiling.
We've got to do something about this.
This may be beyond our help.
Beyond your help? You're going to fight for us, aren't you?
Fight for you? Has there been fighting?
I don't think so. We thought that you would do that.
So you just abandoned your homes expecting me to come rescue you?
I knew you were full of it. Fine. I'll just take my money and go then.
Wait, excuse me?
Money, I need some more of it. When you came through a few days ago, my friend Monday got 2 or 3 times as much money as I did. He doesn't even need it. He's doing fine. So I didn't think that was very fair at all.
Get out.
What?
Get the hell out of here right now before I throw you out.
Robin,
Didn't think that was very fair at all.
Come along, come along. Now's not a very good time.
What about letting me stay? I'm a criminal too, you know. I got caught poaching. Hey, I'm a poacher.
We're supposed to be helping these people out, not putting our pants on for them.
Settle down, Robin.
Should have let you all be arrested.
You think this is our fault? We were doing perfectly well before you came along.
Perfectly well. Living in the woods and stealing from the king?
Oh, the king. We're not all best friends with the king the way you are, Robin. He hasn't exactly done very much for us.
Stop it, you two! Forget about that man.
What are we going to do about these raids?
We can't do anything about the raids. You can't start a war.
Here's your great plan again. Sit back and do nothing. The sheriff didn't just take our money and our homes. He took our way of life, our dignity. It's easy for you to tell us to wait for things to get better because you're leaving anyways. It's not going to get better unless we make it better.
Robin, you had the best intention. But Will's right. This isn't your fight. Your heart isn't in it like ours are.
John, don't do this. You're going to get these people killed.
We know what we're doing.
Yes, right. Will, you're a brilliant strategist.
Yeah, we've got a strong leader.
I don't mean to doubt you, John, but...
Not me. Lady Marion.
No. What?
What do you think, Marion? We can't just sit back on this, right?
No, we can't.
What are they talking about?
She's the brilliant strategist, Robin. And she's kept us alive this far.
You... what?
You're a lot of wonderful things, Robin, but you might not be a genius.
You're their leader.
I prefer to think of myself as their benefactor. I have a lot of connections within the castle. I'm able to keep them abreast of information. When I spend more time at home, at least.
Marion, if anyone were to find out about this...
Everyone knows about this.
Everyone?
My house was openly against the taxes. We stood alongside your father. It's no secret which side I'm on.
What if the sheriff were to come after you?
He can't. King Richard is my cousin. The political ramifications would destroy him.
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I assumed you knew at first. When I realized you didn't, forgive me, but it was actually quite a bit of fun to play with you.
Why have you not heard? All the villagers talk about Robin Hood and Marion's men.
Marion's men? I did hear that, but I thought they called you merry men.
Merry men?
Do I look fucking married to you?
This is unbelievable. Why am I here at all, Marion?
Don't be like that.
What am I doing here? You're just using me and my family's name. You don't need me. You need a hero. You need Robin Hood. I'm not Robin Hood. Here, you. You're Robin Hood now. I'm done.
You're more than that, Robin. We need you.
Do we?
I need you.
Spent my life leading battles, pretending to be a leader that I'm not. If I'm going to run around as a fake figurehead for people to shoot at, much rather be a king than an outlaw.
You're just going to walk away.
I'm sure I can find better company than that of thieves and liars.
Good riddance.
Will?
He's right. We don't need him. And this was never his fight. These are our people, our friends that need us. If Robin's willing to walk out on people in need, then so be it. There are people here. There are some of us here with the strength to stand up and do what's right.
We're not going to do nothing. Gisburn's men are spread out all across Nottinghamshire right now. If we wait for them to gather everything in Burnsdale, it'll be too late.
So we've got to move fast.
It's time to fight back.
Scene 9, Burnsdale. 2 guards stand watch over the entrance of a straw-roofed shack as the 3rd guard walks in with a crate of supplies and then leaves again. Once the 3rd guard has disappeared, Much runs up to one of the remaining guards.
What's going on in there? I said, what's going on in there?
Go find your mother, kid.
I'm just asking.
Suddenly, Much kicks the guard as hard as he can in the shin, turns and runs. The guard is quick to recover and runs after him.
Quickly now.
Alan and Tuck casually walk in from around the same corner. Tuck nods to the 2 of them as he walks into the shack.
Why, excuse me, would you all mind if we helped ourselves to some of these supplies you've been taking from the people?
By all means, take as much as you want.
Oh, why, thank you, kind sirs.
Hurry up now.
Tuck walks off with a crate as Alan disappears inside.
Keep your ear about. For the signal from Elena.
Don't worry about her. She can see everything from the tree line.
She's a fine girl, that one.
Elena, the best.
Don't never take that for granted. Trust me there.
No, I won't. Every day she still surprises me.
What I wouldn't have given for a girl like that. Don't mistake me now. I love Marty with all my heart, God bless her soul. But to have a woman like yours, who's willing to go on robberies and fight with you back to back, oh, now that's love.
Alan comes out of the doorway, standing between them, but doesn't say a word.
Don't tell me that's it.
Alan drops to his knees, and we see that behind him, Guy of Gisborne was waiting for them in the shack, and he has a knife to Alan's throat.
Damn it!
Alan!
Put your weapons down and get on your knees.
To hell with you.
That's fine. That's fine. Just don't hurt him.
Little puts his staff down, steps away, and gets down on his knees. Scarlet is unsure, but eventually does the same. Gisborne pushes Alan away from the weapons to where Scarlet and Little are as he walks out of the shack. Ferrers and a guard are with him.
I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. Why bother wasting time to find a bunch of rebels when you could get them to come to you instead?
What you're doing here is wrong.
You're literally stealing. That's wrong. That's something both your king and your god agree upon. Do you think yourself smarter than both of them? Ah, here's your friend.
3 more guards enter, escorting Tuck, who abjectly joins the group.
And what about the other one, Robin of Locksley?
He's not one of us.
Not one of you? Well, he'll be here soon, I imagine. I've got men searching the tree line as we speak.
It's true. He left us. Seems he didn't have the stomaching for this life.
Then he may be smarter than I thought. How many more of you out there, then?
That's everyone.
Break one of their arms.
That's everyone, you bastard.
Is that true, brother?
Aye, that's everyone. If you won't believe me, then do what you will.
Do you believe him?
I can't think of a single reason why we should believe a word any of them say.
You are learning quickly. Go on, break it.
There's one more.
Don't.
Only one? You've got to be joking. You only brought the 5 of you to do this? Who exactly did you think you were stealing from? All right. Where is he?
Robin Hood. He's watching us from the tree right now.
I thought as much. The great Robin Hood.
Why, he could put an arrow through 2 of your necks before you'd even realized it had happened.
They're lying, you fools. They're trying to catch you off guard.
Death to the sheriff!
Captain heard it and sprung sideways, wheeling around to meet the attack. His dagger thrust out where an assailant's stomach would have been, but there was no mob of villagers there, no surprise rescue. It was just the tip of Gisborne's knife as it pierced the apple of Much's neck. The world stopped. The force of the blow lifted Much's feet off the ground, his legs kicking limply forward, his body suspended on the blade. His eyes were so wide and blue in the half moment before his blonde hair flung forward, obscuring his face. A small sword fell from his hands, twirling as his fingers lost their grip. Much and Gisborne moved to the ground, one over the other. When Gisborne pulled the knife out, with it came a thick, dark ribbon just flowing out, just like that. Elena was pummeling a guard's face with her fist over and over, her knuckles broken and bloody. Then she was airborne, tumbling backwards. Something smashed against her face, hard, too hard. When she could see again, it was Will in front of her, standing over her, wielding John's massive quarterstaff. Gisborne was there, still over Much's body, pointing at Will and yelling, and the two of them flew at each other. Gisborne swung slowly, and Will easily met him with the center of the staff, again and again, driving forward, or was he being driven back, until he snapped the staff around the side of the captain's head, then hooked the murderer around the neck, pulling him forward. If Will had his knives, he could have ended his fight, but another guard came in, and he had to abandon Gisborne. There were 4 guards around Will. One slashed in high, found only splinters in the staff, but another came from the side, and Will blocked it too late. Then a boot was in Will's back, and he went down, staff rolling away from him. A dozen guards surrounded them, their swords leveled low, and Will had nothing.
You have brought this upon yourselves. Cut them open.
We hear the sound of an arrow whizzing through the air, and the guy spins, an arrow stuck out of his chest.
Let them go or you'll be dead before you speak again. We are leaving, and you are not going to follow us. John, get Mudge.
Little walks over to the little boy's body and picks him up.
You'll hang for this. That I promise.
You want a promise? We promise this. Anyone responsible for hurting one of our own will pay with his life. That's a promise we'll take to our graves.
Elena disappears over the back of the shack. Ferrers moves to reorganize the men.
Go on, get after them.
No.
What?
They've taken their loss today, and so have we. They won't strike again.
I thought you said we should be willing to do anything to maintain order.
We still have a lot of work to do today. This doesn't change anything. Continue loading the supplies.
Guy moves back to where Much was killed and picks up the knife from the ground, which he wipes off. He has difficulty coming to grips with what he has done, crosses himself, then breathes heavily and puts it behind him. He puts his knife away and walks off after the guard. Scene 10, Nottingham Castle, Sheriff's Office. Arable and William burst through the door, hissing passionately and oblivious to which room it is that they have pushed into themselves.
Oh, we can't. Not in here.
Don't be silly. We can lock the door from the inside.
But not here. I can't.
Are you sure?
He kisses her neck and she starts to waver.
After all, he's leaving soon. What is he going to care?
I can't. I can't.
Horrible.
I just can't. Tomorrow you'll be gone, William. Again, it was so hard to deal with the first time you left. Don't make it harder for me this time.
You know I wish I could stay with you, but I have to return to the king.
What is it?
This letter from the High Sheriff. Baron de Lacy was right. He's been removed from the sheriff's office. My apologies, Baron.
It doesn't matter. As you see, you've read.
Is there nothing to be done?
It's all my fault, all of this. I've made many mistakes and should have been more decisive. Anything that has happened is my blame.
Has Gisborne seen this?
Not yet.
Has anyone?
Just me.
Is Lord Gisborne to replace you? That man is a monster. I can't imagine what he'd do with all that power.
He'll spend the entire coffers searching for these outlaws. The county will be bankrupt and my people will be living in fear. I've done a poor job of managing all of this.
It's not too late. As you say, no one has seen this.
Shall I ignore them? Another will come in a week, and along with men to enforce it.
A week is all you need. Perhaps we can arrange a peace with the rebels before then.
You clearly have an idea, so tell me.
Tomorrow, when I leave, I'm meeting with Robin of Locksley first.
You said you had no way of contacting him.
I lied. I'm sorry. With Robin's help, we'll arrange the peace meeting that we almost had a week ago. Then, when Gisborne comes to power next week, the matter will already be settled.
1 week.
1 week to finally do some good.
Gisborne will fight against you.
I can handle him for 1 week. After that, we'll both be gone. Arable, take this. Burn it. Baron, important people are depending on you.
William kisses Arable, and De Lacy smiles. William and Arable leave, and the two guards lock the door from the inside with a wooden bar. They step closer to De Lacy and remove their hoods. They are Scarlett and Elena.
Baron Roger De Lacy.
Sheriff of Nottingham.
Who the hell are you?
You wouldn't know if we told you.
That was an interesting thing you just said about being to blame for everything that's happened lately.
I don't know what you think you know, but this is...
What we know is a child was murdered by your actions today.
What?
And I promised that the man responsible would pay with his life.
Who was killed? I don't know what you're talking about.
You can lie to us all you want. I'm gonna pay all the same.
Wait, just a minute, and listen to me. If you kill me, there's going to be another sheriff. And he'll...
Then we'll kill him too.
Scarlett moves in and stabs De Lacy. He slaps him as hard as he can, more to chastise him than defend himself. Elena moves in and stabs De Lacy in the back, and he recoils and falls into the table, knocking items to the floor. He gathers his strength and pushes himself back to his feet and stares at his two assassins. Elena and Scarlett both move in and stab De Lacy again. Eventually, they lower his body to the ground, exchange a look with each other, and put their hoods back on. Scene 11, Locksley Castle. Robin is seated amongst the ruins of Locksley Castle. He has his bags packed nearby. We hear footsteps approaching, but he does not react. We see William climbing over some rubble to join him.
Robin, thank God you're here.
Hello, William. What a week we've had, huh?
Please tell me you had nothing to do with this.
Excuse me?
With what happened yesterday. You were supposed to be making things better, so how did you let this happen?
This what happened? I left them yesterday morning. They wouldn't accept my help.
Robin! They assassinated the sheriff!
What? Good God.
I can't leave now. You'll have to go back to King Richard alone and inform him of what's happening here.
Unbelievable.
Do you remember how to get to their campsite? That would save us some time.
Yes, of course. I could draw it out for you. But do you know who did it?
That fiery little one that attacked us.
Will Scarlett.
Yes, and his girl.
Elena. Are you sure?
Absolutely. We captured them trying to escape. They'll be hanged at De Lacy's funeral.
On earth would they do such a thing, those idiots?
They claimed it was revenge. There was an incident in Burnsdale. A child was killed.
They killed a child, too?
No, one of theirs.
Oh God, much. I never should have left them.
I'm sure you did what you could, but it's out of our hands now.
If I had stayed, none of this would have happened. They don't know what they're doing.
It's too late now. We'll round them up. Just let me know where I can find them.
What's going to happen to them?
Don't think about that. They've made their choices.
Is there no possibility of keeping the peace?
They assassinated the sheriff. The new sheriff will not be able to turn a blind eye to their actions the way De Lacy did. No, they'll be hunted down, imprisoned, and hanged.
Who's the new sheriff?
I am.
No.
Roger De Lacy was leaving anyways. He had written up papers to have me appointed. If your boys hadn't killed him, there may have been peace. As it is, I'll have to play this through.
Play this through? By hunting down women and children?
Thieves and murderers.
Who are fighting for their own survival?
By killing the sheriff?
They're good people, William. This goes back a year ago when the sheriff raised taxes.
This goes back a year ago to when your father incited a rebellion.
Did they tell you about him?
Your father started this war, and for what?
It's easy to fight for something you believe in. He chose to fight for something that other people believed in, because he knew they couldn't fight for themselves.
You are marching straight back to King Richard.
No, I'm not. I'm going to see this through as well. I can still effect a peace.
Peace is not possible until your outlaws are gone. If you choose to join them, I will not be able to protect you.
What's the price of your peace, William? Would you kill me for it?
Would you make me?
Give me more time.
I can't. Your charge is to return to King Richard.
I disagree.
Are you leaving your post? Are you deserting your king?
Are you?
Out of respect, I'll let you go. But if I ever see you again...
Don't be silly, William. You won't see me coming. King William, Sheriff of Nottingham.
King Robin.
End of act.
foishlen, mochs vadin yes mikedi, oh hi julin let, hiri varuvi, hiri varin yeho. Ellendein, oh hiulinet. Mashkun was a guchte ganye, mashlepi guchte yamin, oh hiulinet. Hiri varuvi. Hiri varin yeho, ellendein, oh hiulinet. Mashen chiesk tocheinen gyana, mashen aronye donok fare, oh hiulinet. Hiri varuvi, hiri varin yeho, ellendein, oh hiulinet. Rodin joch kepalle kache, toch een stundje tavag, oh hiulinet, hiri varuvi, hiri varin yeho, ellendein, oh
Act 2, Scene 1, Sherwood Forest, Robin's Camp. Tuck and Little sit as Tuck plucks away at a song.
How is the knight gone on his way? The game he fought full good. When he looked on Bairnsdale, he walked on Robin Hood. And when he thought on Bairnsdale, Scarlet, Much, and John, he blessed them for the best company that ever he had come. Take thy bow in my hand, said Robin, late much shall be with thee. And so shall William Scarlet. Let no man die for me.
Why are you still singing about Robin still?
The people like him.
He's departed.
They don't know that.
You should be singing about Much. There's some generosity, I think, in that his parents weren't alive to see this happen.
Did you know his parents?
I did not.
Nor I. I think the only person who did was Much, which means they're gone now. So yes, I'll be singing a song about Much, so that people don't forget.
Hello, boys. You'll never believe who I found.
The devil knows his name.
Robin!
Get Marion.
I heard about Burnsdale.
You'd be headstrong leading off then.
You're probably right. With your permission, I'd like to stay and help.
There'll be a bounty on your head.
We're stuck in this. You have an opportunity to see yourself right by the king.
Well, given the company, I'd rather be an outlaw than a king.
There it is then. Welcome back, Robin.
John, so catch me up.
After Burnsdale, we went our difference to avoid capture. Scarlett and Elena never made it. We assumed that Gisborne picked them up until we heard about the sheriff's death. That's got Scarlett all over it.
Well, it was them. I've confirmed that.
Are they alive?
They're being held. They'll be publicly executed at DeLacy's funeral. We need a plan.
A plan? The plan is we hide and hope for the best.
With respect, that's not an option.
This is going to be good.
The new sheriff, William de Wendenal, he's coming for us.
We figured on that.
He's new to politics. It'll take him time to get his feet, so we have to strike quickly.
I thought you were in favor of doing nothing.
Things have changed. We're at war now, and that's my specialty.
We're a little short on men.
A lot of village folks have offered to join and lend a hand, but there's no telling if we'd be inviting spies.
I can help with that, but the first thing we're going to do is get Scarlett and Elena back.
Back? They're locked up in Nottingham Castle.
Castle Rock is impenetrable.
They did it. They got inside, killed the sheriff, didn't they?
The castle was empty. All the guards were out on raids.
And we don't know where they'll be.
We know where they'll be during the hanging.
Robin!
Marion.
Oddly, he wasn't that happy to see me.
Oh, I'll give you a hug if you want one.
Whoa, I prefer my ribs unbroken.
I knew you'd come back.
Did you?
You may be more like your father than you think.
How are you?
I'm fine, but we have a lot of work to do.
We're fine too, thanks for asking.
Do me a favor, John, and round up whoever you can.
No point in wasting time.
As Alan leaves, he hands Robin his hood back, meaningfully.
I have to help him.
Tuck awkwardly finds a reason to leave and exits, leaving Robin and Marion alone.
It was my fault, Mary. I shouldn't have left before, and I didn't mean the things I said.
Yes, you did. But that's fine. You figured you were wrong.
Too late.
It's never too late to do what's right.
I'm sure I'd be welcome back.
Tragedy has a way of washing the past clean.
I really am sorry for leaving.
As you said.
No, not just now, but all those years ago.
Robin.
What you've done here. How you've helped these people. Thought was my father. It's really quite remarkable.
Remarkable. Is it able to be remarked upon?
It's amazing. I want to help in any way I can.
Well, I'm glad you're back.
I'm not going anywhere this time.
They kiss.
Let's go. I want to hear your ideas before I leave.
Where are you going?
Back to my estate. Don't worry, only for a little while.
Will that be safe? The sheriff knows you're involved.
As I said, he can't touch me. And besides, right now there are a lot of things I can do to help from there. Here I'm just another mouth to feed.
You should take somebody with you for protection.
Bodyguard?
Well, I'll do it myself.
Stop it. You're needed here. You can guard me while I'm still here if you like.
Gladly.
Another kiss as the lights fall. Scene 2, Nottingham Castle, a prison cell. A prison cell in Nottingham Castle. Elena is curled up on the ground. A door opens and slams shut, and William enters the room with her, along with some water and a piece of bread.
Good morning, Elena.
Did you die this morning?
No?
Then not good enough.
What do you think would happen if I died? Will the next sheriff stop all taxes and give money out to everyone for free?
It's a nice castle. It must have your bed.
It does. Is that why you killed Baron de Lacy? For his bed?
We didn't start this war.
War now? Girl, don't pretend to know. Don't pretend you know a thing about war. This here This is a holiday. What a luxury when paying taxes is your greatest concern. I've spent my time at the brink of humanity, where civilization ends, and I can promise you that 1 or 2 more dead bodies solves nothing.
Then let us go.
Someone will hang for the murder of Roger de Lacy. But it doesn't have to be you, Elena. Nobody of importance knows there were 2 murderers. Will Scarlet will hang, but a woman on the rope is a hard sight. Perhaps you're willing to bargain.
Willing to bargain?
The man you hate. The man who killed this boy. His name is Lord Guy of Gisborne. He has the desire and the ability to take the role of sheriff from me. He will storm into the Sherwood, he will hunt your friends and kill them like dogs, and he will parade their corpses through the town. Our rich friends will hail him as succeeding where Roger de Lacy and I both failed. His family is influential, mine is not. This is inevitable, which means that my only option is to beat him to it.
You want me to help you kill my friends?
They'll stand trial. The women and children will be left alone. Gisborne will not be so kind.
Will's life is the only thing I'm willing to bargain for.
I can't do that. The Baron's assassin will be publicly executed.
They don't have to know you released us. Forge and escape.
Then I'm seen as incompetent.
Then your incompetence is the price of peace. You're asking me to sacrifice my friends, but you are unwilling to sacrifice your reputation.
Confidence in leadership is critical to creating peace. A life is meaningless. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
So you would sacrifice your friends or your lover for this peace?
If I had no other choice.
I pity you. I too want peace, but I want peace for my friends and for my lover. Without them, there's no reason to fight for it. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
If I catch your friends without your help, I will hang them all.
I killed the sheriff alone. Will is an innocent man. Hang me and let him go.
You give up your life for a dead man. Where's the sacrifice in that?
May still surprise you.
Scene 3, Sherwood Forest, Robin's camp. Robin is leading a training exercise with Alan, Little, and others. Puck watches. The men have paired up and are sparring with swords.
The sheriff's guards are trained in simple moves designed to work against unskilled opponents. Once you recognize these attacks, you should be able to avoid them simply enough. For instance, they may come at you with a broad sweep, and they'll follow that with a lunge. You see, you've left yourself vulnerable. Even if you block that sweep, your weapon will be knocked aside. But if you knew this was coming, you can close the distance quickly. Come at me. Now just follow the direction that they're swinging and move into it. They won't get a chance to prepare another attack. You'll be close enough for a kill. Don't linger. Strike. Move on.
What if they're not dead yet?
Remember, these men aren't so different than you. They have lives, families, and I guarantee that if you injure them or prove you're the better fighter, they will run. So don't be intimidated.
I swear, if they hang Scarlet or Lena, I'll kill them all myself.
That was Elena's promise, and I stick to it. Who's ever responsible for one of our deaths has it coming back.
Franz, I agree with you. Just remember, if it comes to battle, everyone you kill might be a Scarlet or an Elena or a Much or someone else. Only take a life if you absolutely must. There are plenty of ways to subdue an enemy without killing them.
Yeah, that's where this weapon here comes in.
What? Your ugly face. Are you going to scare them off?
I'll scare you off.
And now let's move back to archery again.
We just did archery.
On the double. Best get used to running, John.
Best get used to disappointment, Robin.
What about you, Friar? We need every sword arm we can get.
Stealing supplies is one thing. Murder's another. There's no making the right in either law.
Really?
Don't worry, I don't begrudge you. But I've chosen a path that abhors violence.
These are extraordinary circumstances.
Those are the times it's most important to keep your values.
If it comes down to you or them.
then it'll be me. We all have to die sometime.
Do you mind if I ask what brought you here, Friar?
No, I don't. But I'll only answer if you answer first. This isn't your fight.
I don't think I have a fight. Followed King Richard for almost 2 years, but the crusade isn't my fight. Richard has a noble cause, but it's not mine. And that's all right. Everyone doesn't have to have a noble cause, but when people do, they deserve to have someone fight for it. I'm good at fighting.
That sounds like you wanted to be a hero.
No.
Oh, I wouldn't blame you. You're used to dressing up as someone, never taking any credit. You come back here and all of a sudden people are singing songs about you. Not King Richard, but you, Robin.
I didn't ask for that.
But you came back. Be careful. A man without a cause is dangerous. There's no place for heroes in heaven.
Was that in the Bible?
And there's no heroes in the Bible either. Just people doing what they could, even in extraordinary circumstances.
All right then. Why are you here?
Beer.
Excuse me?
John Little stole a ransom with a beer from my village. I asked him where he was going and whether or not they needed a friar. He accepted. But I'm no hero either. Heroes die gloriously. But drunkards always survive.
Glad I came back, Friar.
You sure it didn't have anything to do with Marion?
Oh, maybe a little to do with Marion.
Pity that.
That she is. Wait, what did you say?
I said pity.
Oh, I thought you said pretty. But why pity?
You haven't heard.
Haven't heard what?
He went back home.
Yeah, I knew that a few days ago.
I knew that. Once they knew where she was, the sheriff's men came for her.
They didn't.
Robin, it's not what you think.
Tell me.
Scene 4, Nottingham Castle, Sheriff's Office. William is at the desk, and the door opens. William stops what he is doing, clearly dreading the conversation to come. Arable enters the room.
It's true, isn't it? I heard about it in the kitchen and I laughed. It was so ridiculous an idea that I laughed out loud. I came here to tell you about it so you could laugh too, but it's not a joke, is it?
It's not.
You're getting married.
Yes.
What did I do?
This has nothing to do with you.
How can you say that?
This is strictly for political reasons.
Where is any of this coming from?
Lady Marion is cousin to King Richard.
Don't you even say her name to me.
Her family is above reproach.
I'm sorry my family isn't wealthy. I didn't realize that was all you cared about.
Arable, I love you. You don't understand. My position here is resting on a knife's edge. Lord Gisborne will dethrone me at the first opportunity.
You're the sheriff now. You clearly get to do what you want.
But de Lacy never appointed me sheriff. I falsified those documents.
We're the only ones that know that.
Gisborne suspects it. He's going to make some bold moves, and soon, and all of this will be for nothing. Do you want to see him in power?
Of course not.
By marrying into the house of King Richard, I buy myself security.
It's just that easy to you?
Easy? I haven't slept! I haven't eaten. Gisborne is breathing down my neck, and all of a sudden, I'm in charge of protecting everyone from him.
Everyone but me? Have you thought about that, William? If you're getting married, you won't be able to protect me from him anymore. In fact, you've put me in greater danger. If he's mad at you, what's to stop him from coming after me to get to you?
I won't let that happen.
How? You think you can watch him every second? His heart is black. He murdered a child.
I promise you I will take care of this.
Your promises break to your politics.
Arable.
What about us, William?
We can still...
We can still what? No, we can't still. I can't still. With a man whose wife has the ear of the king, are you insane?
I'm so sorry.
Prove it. Put a stop to this now.
I'm so sorry. But I stand by this decision.
You're worthless. You could marry the king himself and you would still be worthless.
Scene 5, Nottingham Castle, a prison cell. Scarlet is seated in a small pool of light on the floor, into which Gisborne enters.
You'll be hanged in 2 days. You should know you probably won't be fed in that time.
I could eat your heart.
You could. You could rip my body open and eat my heart.
If you have a heart at all.
Perhaps I'm mistaken, but you're the one in prison for murder.
You're really going to look at me in the eye and tell me you're not a murderer?
The child.
His name was Much.
Much. I don't suppose you would believe how I regret that.
It looked like you had a problem with it at the time.
Who do you think I am? It was over before I realized what was happening. I had a son, about that boy's age. I had 2 sons. They both caught sick around the same time. John was always stronger of the 2, and he came through it all right, but Henry was smaller. He was too weak. There was a moment when Much fell into my arms that he felt exactly like Henry. I didn't wish that to happen.
But it did.
I don't pretend otherwise, but I didn't put the boy in danger. I didn't bring a boy to a fight.
Don't.
I didn't murder him in cold blood. I didn't sneak into the boy's room and stab him to death, defenseless.
Much was innocent. The sheriff was not.
You weren't thinking when you brought the boy along. He's dead. Next, you brought your girl along here. She'll be dead soon. I suggest you start thinking about your actions rather than just doing them.
What do you mean?
You've started a war, boy. In the name of revenge, you've killed all your friends. And what's worse is you didn't even get the credit for it.
Oh, what credit?
The people think that the sheriff was killed by Robin Hood.
What?
They're rallying to his cause in droves.
Are you kidding? He's gone. He left. He's the one that got us into this situation. I just tried to fix what he messed up. That coward walked out on us.
He's the problem. You see that, don't you? The people won't listen to reason anymore. They think Robin Hood will save them from their troubles. He'll lead them to a bloodbath.
But if he were gone, things could return to normal.
I can arrange for you and Elena to get out of here and back to the Sherwood safely. In exchange for your lives, I want Robin's.
I killed Robin. They'd kill me.
They don't have to know you did it. I can give you a poison. My apprentice has it. He's waiting outside. You mix it in a drink, and no one will know it was you. All it takes is a small amount.
You would set us both free. What if I didn't want to go through with it?
No offense, but you're a small piece on a very big board. If you don't do it, I get to kill all your friends, which, frankly, I was looking forward to. It's quite uncharacteristic of me to try to help you out like this.
Then why help me?
How do you think it is that you got in to see the sheriff's office with no one stopping you?
You knew we were coming.
Of course I did. We've already been helping each other, whether you knew it or not.
The escape. How would it work?
Scene 6, Sherwood Forest, Robin's camp. It's nighttime, and the mist hangs heavily on the outskirts of the camp. Robin is seated, sharpening his sword. Alan joins him, carrying 2 cups.
Robin!
Alan.
I brought one for you.
No, thank you. I won't sleep well.
2 for me, then.
You'd best get some sleep for tomorrow.
They'll be expecting us?
They'd be foolish not to. Public funeral, public hanging, they're practically inviting us inside.
Do you think it's a trap? I'll bet I could cut off both their nooses from the gallows with a single arrow.
I can't promise we'll get him back.
I know. But at least we'll die trying.
Do you mean that?
No. I don't want to die. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. First of all, he shouldn't have taken Lena with him. He should have taken me. Second of all, I would have told him not to do it in the first of all. I don't know how he got so carried away. We never got into any real trouble before. Oh, there was a scare or two, but nobody ever got killed. That's for certain. Sorry. Excepting your father. Did I ever tell you that I knew him? Terrible thing what happened. I'd been pulling grain for him for about a year beforehand. He was nice. He had a strong head about king this and government that. They said they took his boy away. If I were him, I would have just paid the taxes. Well, he believed in something, and he got dead. Will Scarlet, I suppose he believes in something. He's about to get dead. Elena, too. Little John. They're all fighting for their land or for the people or something. You know why I'm here? It's fun. Stealing and fighting. And do you know how exciting pulling grain is? There's no fun in it, and there's no coin in it. This is fun. At least it was until people started dying.
Do you know why Friar Tuck is here? Beer.
That's what he told you.
Beer! He said he wanted to be where the beer was.
Tuck's a humble man. Nobody does this for beer.
Nobody does this for fun either.
Let's get Lena back.
Hello, boys!
What? Son of a... We were just talking about you.
I found them. They're over here.
What are you doing here? We were supposed to rescue you.
We escaped.
You escaped?
Were you followed?
No. Hello, Robin.
I'll get the others.
You don't know what you put us through.
You think I was just going to let them hang me? Go on, I can take care of myself.
Where's Lena?
You should be right behind. We had a hard time finding you.
We've been moving campsites, leaving fake trails. Keep the sheriff looking.
Well, it almost tricked me, so it will most certainly trick them.
You gave us a scare. I thought I was going to watch you die.
What was the plan? You all sneak into the funeral and start killing people?
Maybe.
Let me guess. Robin's plan. Looks like I came back just in time. What would you do without me?
Robin returns, and with him is Little and Tuck. He embraces Scarlet.
Well, aren't you the sight?
Welcome back, Will!
It's good to see you both.
I believe this calls for a celebration. Beer, anyone?
What'd I tell you?
Where's your girl?
Now, here she is.
Good evening, everyone.
Lena!
2 friends back, 2 friends, 2 drinks each. I insist.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Yes, let me help too.
You should be sitting down and resting. Let us tend to you.
No, it's no trouble.
So, how the hell did the 2 of you get out of there? I'll bet you left a trail of blood all the way.
Best hope not.
We got the sheriff. Did you hear that?
That we did.
They know we keep our promises now.
That's something we should have decided as a group.
You're right, but in the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment is the most important time to think clearly.
All right. Let's talk about this tomorrow. Tonight, we celebrate, eh? Hand me another drink.
Let's take it easy, Alan.
Where's the point in that? I intend to be sleeping all day.
We're still going to Nottingham Castle tomorrow. This changes nothing.
What?
What are you talking about?
Scarlett and Elena are alive. That's great, but Wendenall is not going to admit that they escaped in the middle of the night. He's still going to hang someone for the murder of the sheriff. We can't let him have that victory.
Forget it. Who's he going to kill? Some old prisoner he's been keeping around for years.
He'll declare it a victory against us.
Against us? Or against Robin Hood?
What's more, we're still down one person. I intend on rescuing Lady Marian tomorrow.
Robin?
Since when was that part of the plan?
Lady Marian's not a prisoner.
Why didn't you tell us about this?
What happened to Marian?
She's been taken against her will to the castle to be married to Wendenall, and we're not going to let that happen.
Robin, she can handle herself.
She's not going to marry him.
You'll never get to her. Every guard in Nottinghamshire will be there tomorrow. We'd be massacred.
You escaped? You know the way in and out?
We had help.
Who?
We were going to tell you first. It's all right. You can come out now.
Don't be angry now.
Wait, you brought them here?
No, we brought her here.
Elena has walked to the edge of the light and summoned someone, and Arable enters from the woods.
You want to be step over here, Elena?
What's wrong?
You led an outsider directly into our camp.
There's nothing to worry about. She's the one who set us free.
My apologies, gentlemen. I understand your caution. My name is Arable de Burrell, and I beg you for your hospitality.
Hospitality?
I don't know what else to do. I don't think I'm safe in the castle anymore, and I thought maybe if I helped your friends, you'd be able to help me.
She means well. She's risked a lot.
She risks less than you do, Will. She knows where we camp now.
She's not going to tell anyone.
They're not going to ask her nicely.
She's not going back. She wants to stay with us.
Can't stay here.
She has to stay here. You just said why.
Can't turn her away with what she knows, but without a guarantee where her loyalty lies, she can't roam freely around here either.
What are you going to do? Lock her up?
Someone within the enemy's walls offers to set you free. All you have to do is show her where your secret camp lies. You didn't suspect a thing about it? What the hell were you thinking?
Let's hear her out at least.
Thank you.
Edible. You are either greatly brave to be here or equally foolish. Your timing is very dangerous. You'll need to give us a reason for us to trust you.
I brought 2 of your friends here that were to be hanged. Does that count for nothing?
Not if you bring back 30 guards here tomorrow.
Arable, tell them about Gisborne.
Lord Gisborne, he came to my chambers, and he was furious, and he threatened me. He said that if I didn't let him, if I disobeyed him, that it would be the last night I'd ever see. I was so frightened.
Why didn't you tell the sheriff?
William? He won't protect me. He doesn't care about me. He probably never did, and he's probably happier with me gone anyways.
So, what did you do?
I wanted to run, but I didn't know where. Then Gisborne started talking about your friends. I think that's what had him so agitated. I thought I could get back at him and William and buy myself some new friends, people who could protect me.
And nobody stopped you?
They had no reason to.
Give us a moment.
They gather away from Arable, Scarlett and Elena to confer. They drink as they speak.
She seems genuinely scared.
That's what troubles me. She made this decision rashly, emotionally. In a day or two, when she's no longer afraid, she'll realize how much she's giving up.
Doesn't mean she'll betray us.
She betrayed her entire life because she was afraid. The next time Gisborne threatens her, you think she won't tell him about us?
Listen, maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. We're only thinking of the worst case scenario.
Meaning?
Robin refills Alan's cup from his own untouched drink.
You see her as a possible spy against us. What if she were a spy for us? If she wants to help us, I say let her. She knows the inner workings of the castle, of the sheriff. She can get us access to Gisborne and who knows what else.
That's true. She's got value.
I doubt she'd be strong enough to work as a spy.
Then what are we arguing for? Look at her. She's terrified. She needs help. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing here?
It's a big risk.
What's the point of any of this if we don't take risks?
We keep a close eye on her.
I don't like it.
Well, fine. Then we're going to have to kill her.
What?
No, that's not what...
We have to kill her, right? There's no other way. If she's a spy, we have to kill her. And we don't know if she's not a spy, so we have to treat her like one.
That's enough, Alan.
Please, nobody knows I'm gone. I won't tell anyone.
Well, that's the way it's always been, though. Right, Will? It's fine to put anyone else in danger as long as you get what you want.
What?
Oh, hi, Elena. How are you?
What's wrong with you?
Suddenly, Alan coughs and spits blood out of his mouth. He touches the blood on his face, seems to be unaware of what's happening, reels about, coughs some more, and starts to spasm.
God in heaven!
Alan!
Get some water. Get some help.
I'll get some salts.
What the hell just happened?
Was that blood? Is he sick?
Alan, what's wrong with you? What was he doing?
He was just talking and he started screaming.
Is he all right?
Watch her.
Alan! Oh, God.
What is it?
Oh.
What is it?
He's not breathing. He's dead.
On your knees. What did you do to him?
I did nothing, I swear.
We tried to help you and you came here to kill us?
I didn't do it. Please believe me.
Trusted you.
What did she do?
She poisoned him.
Poison?
It's in the drink. From my drink. He drank from my cup. She was trying to kill me.
I don't know what happened to him.
We were gonna help you.
You brought an assassin into our camp. This is on your head.
Oh, don't you dare.
I say we kill her. Kill her right now. We swore that whoever is responsible for killing one of our own will pay in kind.
I want her dead before he's cold.
Please, listen to me. I was standing there the whole time. I couldn't have done anything.
She was out of sight for a while when we showed up. She must have snuck around and poisoned the beer then.
Wait. If he poisoned the beer, we'd all be dead. Only Robin's cup had poison, and she was never near it.
That's right. She wasn't. She wasn't. When you showed up, you said hello to me, as if you expected me to be here, but the last thing you knew, I left to go back to the war. Why weren't you surprised to see me here, Will?
Lord Gisborne came to me in my cell. He told me you had returned. He offered my freedom, mine and Elena's, if I came here and poisoned you. But I told him no, Robin. I told him no.
I told him yes.
Lena.
I didn't mean to kill Alan.
Meant to kill me.
I didn't even think I saw the cup. I just did it.
Why?
Because he was right, Will. Gisborne was right. He was right that Robin's to blame for all of this. He brought all of this pain on us, but they sing songs about him. They should be singing songs about Will Scarlet.
You're listening to the man who killed Much.
Didn't bring any pain to you. You got yourselves in enough trouble, which is why I showed up, not the other way around.
We wouldn't have been in Locksley's castle if not for you. So we wouldn't have been involved in the fight that got us here.
Lena, don't you see that he was trying to use us? You've done exactly what he wanted.
I wasn't gonna let you die.
I do not accept Alan's life as a trade for my own.
I didn't mean to kill him.
I don't accept Robin's life either. We made our decision. I was willing to die for it.
You deserve better. You should be leading these people, not this stranger.
You think he should die? That would be the leadership you prefer.
You're better than him.
You spring that in my ear ever since he showed up. He didn't get us here, Lena. You did. Well, Robin was trying to teach Much to defend himself. You taught him to sneak up from behind, which is what got him killed. You were the one that wanted to use him on the raid in Burnsdale. You attacked Gisborne at Locksley Castle. It was even your idea to kill Sheriff de Lacy, and now you've killed my best friend. What exactly in my life have you not ruined?
You were going to kill me. You were going to kill me to hide your secret? I risked everything to help you.
No,
You swore an oath, Lena. You swore that we should pay in kind anyone who does us harm. And you've got quite the head count.
Wait, John.
What are we supposed to do with you, girl? You say you're sorry and we go about our business? You're working with the enemy. We were thinking about killing that girl just for suspecting it.
John, you can't mean this.
You betrayed us. You killed Ellen.
I'll go away. You'll never see me again.
Then we'll find you. He can't let you live either. He arranged for your escape.
He didn't arrange it.
How did you get the keys to your cells?
He left them behind.
He positioned you into this. He used you to bring Elena to us.
You know me. You know I'm on your side. I made a mistake.
I know you did, girl. A big mistake.
It's me, John, not a stranger. Doesn't account for anything.
I promise to make it quick.
Let me take my chance. Please, just don't do this.
I have an idea. Let's let Alan decide.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Turn your head, Will. You shouldn't see this.
Please, we can't do this. It's Lena. Let her go. Let her run. I'll go with her. I'll leave too. It's my fault. I brought her here.
Oh, my love.
Oh, my love. No. You did not get to call me that.
Everything that I did.
Stop talking.
Will, they'll catch her. They'll torture her. You won't be able to live with yourself. It's better if we do it. There's a pity there.
Then I would hate you for it, John. I'd rather hate myself.
I can take it. You can't.
Elena suddenly slips from Little and grabs Alan's cup, drinking deeply from it. Scarlet and Little both try to stop her, but are too late. She turns around and holds on to Scarlet.
I'm so sorry. I love you. You know that, right?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Let's get out of here together.
You're the best man I've ever met. And of course you said no to Gisborne. Because you're so good. And I'm not. So I don't deserve you anyway.
Let's go. Let's go right now.
You deserve the best because you're strong and you're smart. You did the right thing when nobody else would.
But it wasn't the right thing to do.
I tried to do the right thing, Will.
I know.
I tried. I really did.
I know.
I'm sorry.
She choked for air. Every now and then came a little whimper between her fits, the scratching of her feet and hands, clattering through the dirt, and the gentle pattering pecks of Will kissing her as she convulsed. His own breathing was fast and heavy, but he made no other noise except to say, "I know," again and again, until they weren't even words at all. Eventually, the unbearable sounds of her struggling body faded bit by bit, and was replaced with a telling quiet that was so very much worse. After she was still, and sometime even later after that, Will screamed. It sent a chill down John's spine, a wretched, naked noise he would never forget. Will let it out now, all of it, and part of himself too. The others stood unmoving, gravestones in the mist. When Will had no more to cry, they stood in silence. As the fog grew barely thinner, just enough to reveal a few of the figures in the trees. Still they stood. It didn't really matter when the first of the intruders stepped forward.
You're certainly making it easier on me by killing yourselves off.
No. Yes!
She led them right to us.
You followed me? You planned this? How did you know I would do it?
I didn't. I didn't think she would actually try to kill Robin either. Today must be my lucky day.
You're a monster.
There are two different stories I could tell when we return. The first is of a handmaiden who betrayed her country. The second is of my future wife who avenged the late sheriff.
I can't. I never.
Fancy yourself a conversationalist now? You're pretty, dear. Let's leave it at that. So, go on then. Am I to treat you as one of them? Or are you going to come home with me?
Never.
Never, yes, that's what I thought. All right then, let's take all of them into custody. You see, Ferrez, it's good to offer mercy.
Come and get us.
Stay down and cover your face.
Now's as good a time as any.
Ooh, I have an excellent idea. Let's not do this again. Last time, I think you started shooting my men from the trees and you all escaped, and that's fine. That's an option. I was thinking another. You obviously outnumber me. It looks like you have housing for almost 200 across the way, yes? So, no, I'd rather not fight. Let's have you come along willingly, and we'll save ourselves the trouble.
Why would we do that?
Generosity? No? All right then, this, maybe. This is a signed edict from Lord William Wendenall, the Sheriff of Nottingham. That's his signature right there, if you're doubtful. That demands the complete razing of Sherwood Forest.
You couldn't.
Every last tree burnt to the ground if either you do not come willingly, or if I do not report back by morning. Oh, this isn't the only copy, obviously. Fire brigades will leave the castle at first light and start fires on all sides of the Sherwood. The smoke will make an excellent backdrop for Baron de Lacy's funeral.
We'll burn in hell for this.
You're still going to hang tomorrow, by the way. Oh, and I never had any sons.
You can't burn down an entire forest. There are women and children here. You wouldn't just murder them.
I've burned down one Loxley before. I'm slightly hoping you fight back so I can burn down another.
Don't, Robin. Exactly what he wants.
What I want? What I want is for you to obey the law. You do remember that you are the criminals here, right? You're stealing from the king. You assassinated a public official. You're inciting a rebellion while we're at war. What I want is for you all to grow up. And if you refuse, then yes, I want to kill you.
At this moment, Tuck has returned from behind one of the guards and attacked him from behind.
What is wrong with you?
On!
A moment later, a wall of raiders crashed through their circle. Half of Guy's men were taken by surprise, slammed off their feet, overthrown in an instant. They brought weapons, bundles of them, quickly armed the remaining outlaws while Guy's men were still rallying to make sense of what was happening. The villagers met his men in fury. Steel shattered through the night. Guy's world shrank to the size of the two thieves rushing him. They raised their weapons and howled. Guy cracked his sword down upon the first one's blade, up high by the guard, in hopes it would break. Then he pivoted and twisted counterclockwise, dragging his longsword behind him and ending with a reckless slash through the man's jaw, slinging purple pulp in his path. All around him, the torture of steel and men clattered through the trees. His body moved on instinct. He parried a skinny man's lunge and used the momentum to cut through the man's arm below the elbow, then a sidestep and a drag of his blade through the man's belly. A shape that could only be John Little was grappling with an unknowable guardsman. Little's staff was around the man's back, held with both hands, trapping the guardsman between the wound and his chest. Little screamed, pulling the staff towards him, and the man's back broke, limply sloughing off into nothing. To another side, a crowd of blurry bodies was gathering, the way men rally at the edges of a bar fight. Through a hole between bodies, Guy caught a glimpse of the carnage. He watched Scarlet slash down at a guard twice his size, who caught both of Scarlet's wrists midair. Scarlet jumped up and kicked into the man's stomach, and when his wrists were released, he stabbed them both up. Good God, up through the guard's big ox face, down to the hilt. In the next breath, he twisted away and windmilled his arms through the air as he slapped the sword down with one strike and slashed through its owner's shoulder with the next. Too many, Guy swore, finally close enough, unnoticed, and buried his longsword into Scarlet's side. Incredibly, the man had moved one blade in time to protect his ribs, barely saving himself from being cut in half. But as Scarlet collapsed, another shape interceded between, saying something lost to the din. Though Guy could not recognize the words, he was far too familiar with their author. The traitor, Robin of Locksley's face was bloodied. They did not speak, but they did not need to. Whatever raiders were still alive stood back as if to recognize the necessity of this duel. They began properly, a slow circle, watching each other's footwork, shifting their blades between stances. Their blades dipped in unison, sweeping in the same lines, returning and rejoining. They only barely even made contact, the two swords but kissing as they breathed through the air. At the perfect rare chance, Guy backhanded Robin across the face and came swinging down onto him again, and Robin dropped to his knees to block. The strength of the blow was massive, and Robin's sword smashed down and out of his hands. It was possibly over.
Is this what you wanted?
Act as if you care. You mean to burn down the forest?
You mean to burn down the country? Stay on your knees.
No argument there. You're not the sort of man I'd ever stand up for.
I don't need your respect. Everyone will stand up for the man who stopped Robin Hood.
In retrospect, he should have heard her approach. Guy felt mail break in his lower back, barely punctured. A single shard of metal link stabbed the flesh in his already bruised ribs. The pain was no worse than the rest of his body, but it jolted Guy forward. Robin rose and plucked the long sword from his hands in that one moment of disadvantage. No amount of skill or valor or decency mattered in the instant of her craven attack from behind. Arable was just fucking lucky.
That's a coward that does that.
Their positions had quickly reversed. Guy now kneeled before Robin, who clutched Guy's sword in both hands, one on each knee as he buckled over to catch his breath. Arable held her stolen sword out in front of her, her heavy cloak whipping behind her as though she were the greatest hero that ever walked the earth. Guy's men scattered.
Fine then. Don't hurt them. You won, but damn you for it. Damn you for how you did it. What does it matter, Robin? You can't kill me. If you kill me, the forest burns tomorrow. So what then? We go our separate ways for now, just to do this again later, and again and again. How many more of my men have to die? How many of yours will you sacrifice before I inevitably catch you? Just come with me, Robin. If you don't, we'll keep on as we have, as animals, butting our heads. We fought at Locksley Castle. We fought at Burnsdale. We fought here. We'll fight at De Lacy's funeral. We'll fight at Lady Marion's wedding, all for nothing.
A flick of his hand, and Robin Hood slid the tip, just the tip of his sword, through Guy's neck.
The few guards that are still conscious try to get up and flee, but Robin is in bloodlust and brutally kills them as well. Little and Tuck grab him and subdue him.
That's enough, Robin. That's it.
That's not it. He's going to burn the forest down.
He's not insane. He won't do it.
He will. We've done it in the war, and William sees this as a war now.
Right, then we have to stop him.
How?
We've only got till morning before those fire brigades start.
Then we move tonight. We go to the castle.
Told you we can't get in.
I can get you in. As I said, nobody knows I'm missing yet.
You said that before.
All right, nobody alive knows I'm missing. There's a servant's entrance. The watchman there is sympathetic. He'll get us in.
Are you sure you want to do this? Simply running away is one thing, but getting revenge is another.
I understand. I'll get you inside, but I won't go with you. William is dangerous and out of control. I couldn't bear to see him hurt.
Hopefully it won't come to that.
Feeling it will.
How many are going? The fewer the better.
All of us.
No. We should split up. Some of us should see what we can do about stopping those fire brigades.
But you don't want your shot at William.
Oh, I do. But we need to do this right. You and Little John go to the castle. Tuck and I will rally the rest of the men to intercept the fire brigades.
Right. We'll reconvene here in the morning.
Good luck, Robin.
Good luck yourself. Thanks.
Robin, Little, and Arable head off into the woods. Scarlet is going to head in the opposite direction, but turns to Elena's body as Tuck watches.
Make you proud.
Scene 7, Nottingham Castle, a bedroom. Marion is seated in a room. There's a commotion outside the door, and the sound of guards rushing off, shouting. Quickly, the door opens, and Little flies into the room.
Oh, hey!
John? What on earth?
Lady Marion. Well, this works out quite nicely.
What are you doing here? How did you get in?
Well, no worrying about it now. It wasn't anything difficult. All the same, We best stay here for a bit.
Stay here for a bit? You're going to get yourself killed.
No, Robin might.
Robin's here too? What's going on?
Well, it was going fine for a while. No one saw us. And then someone saw us. And then there was a lot of running. I remember the running. I don't like running. Robin, he knows what he's doing with the sword. I'll give him that. And he's fast. I couldn't necessarily tell you where he is right now.
John, catch your breath and talk to me.
Okay, we're here to rescue you.
You're here to rescue me. Who's we?
Robin and I.
You came alone?
Admittedly, it made more sense earlier.
Here's the tricky part, John. What are you rescuing me from?
Well, from the sheriff. From his clutches.
His clutches?
Well, we're not only here for you. Don't get ahead about it. We've come to stop the sheriff.
Stop him from doing what?
He's going to burn down Sherwood Forest, Miriam. He signed an edict. And if we don't stop him by tonight, he'll burn it down first thing tomorrow.
He's not going to burn down the forest.
He is.
He's not. Do you even have the slightest idea of how much work that would take? It couldn't be done in a month, much less a morning. Besides, I wouldn't let him.
You wouldn't let him? What's going on here?
What do you think is going on here?
Well, we thought the sheriff kidnapped you and was forcing you to marry him.
I am going to marry him.
We've got to stop that.
No, you don't.
You care to fill me in on the why?
We are trying to bring stability to Nottinghamshire. Ever since the new taxes last year, the division in this land has gotten worse and worse. I thought we could help, but eventually it caught up to us. I want peace. William wants peace. But there are others in his camp that disagree, Lord Gisborne first amongst them. By marrying into my family, into King Richard's family, William will have more power. As for me, I'll be able to actually make a difference. With connections inside the castle, the ability to influence policy. I can protect you all much better from here than anywhere else.
You think he'll listen to you?
He does listen to me. He already has. He came to me for advice on this. Marriage was my idea, John.
And you want to marry him?
Well, no. I mean, he's not ugly. I could do a lot worse.
But you don't love him?
Of course not. We don't get the luxury of marrying who we love.
I think that's why maybe Robin wants to rescue you.
Why?
He probably loves you.
He probably does.
And that's it.
As I said, I don't get that luxury. What I can accomplish here is more important than that.
Then we're going to hang Will and Elena. Do you know that?
I wouldn't have let them.
What the hell am I doing here?
You're a good man, John Little.
Do you know what, Lady Marion? You're a better man than I am.
Am I?
There you are. Oh, hell. Elena took her own life, Marion.
What?
Ellen's dead too. And Lord Gisborne. It was such a fury. Everybody's tempers were up and running.
Stop! John, whatever is going on, just stop it!
I don't know.
Stop it, John! What are you doing? Don't you see you're making it worse? I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to save all of you. But I can't do it if you keep running around killing each other.
I didn't know.
Get out of here. Before somebody sees you, get back to the others and just do nothing. For God's sake, for once, just do nothing. Get drunk, sleep for a week, and let me handle this. We are on the verge of bringing things back to some kind of order here, but you just keep stirring things up.
All right. All right, I'll go.
Find Robin before he does anything stupid.
Marion, we were only trying to do right by our own.
I know, John. We all are. Don't tell Robin about this.
Oh, he won't leave without you.
Tell him I've already gone. Tell him I left the castle and I went back to camp. Tell him he'll see me tomorrow.
He won't appreciate being lied to.
Tomorrow, tell him the truth.
He'll come back for you.
Tell him I love William.
He won't believe it.
Then tell him I love him. Tell him. I don't care. I don't care what you tell him. Just don't let him come back here. You too. I'll send a messenger if we need to talk, but don't expect to see me again. Go!
Scene 8, Nottingham Castle, Sheriff's Office. William is seated at his table working on something. Similar to the previous scene, there is noise outside of the door, guards running about and some swordplay. William doesn't seem to care much about it. There's a moment of silence, and then Robin bursts triumphantly through the door, which splinters at its hinges.
How would I know you'd be hiding here?
Hello, Robin.
Come to pay for what you've done.
Will you sit down, please?
No men to hide behind, eh?
You look exhausted. Let me get you a drink.
No, you're not going anywhere.
Robin puts his sword to William's chest. William barely slows, brushing it away.
What are you doing, Robin?
Lord Wyndham, the outlaws are...
Here, yes. They're right here, look. Would you get us some drinks, please?
Get you what?
Some drinks! For Christ's sake, is anyone capable of talking to each other?
The time for talking is over.
That was very dramatic. Thank you, Robin. Robin, are you bleeding?
We'll do more than that when I'm through.
Get out of here, get us some drinks and some gauze, and tell everyone to settle down.
Settle down?
They snuck through the servants' gate. There's another one right outside.
Perez, please. Sorry about that. You could have told me you were coming. Would you put that away? This room is tiny. What are you?
You were traitor to the king, William.
What? Who have you been talking to? Have a seat.
I have been talking to your dog, Lord Gisborne. He brought me this.
He throws the edict onto the table.
Are you going to tell me that's not your signature?
Do you think I'm that insane? I'm not going to burn down a forest. That was a ruse. It was Gisborne's idea. He thought it might lure you out into the open. Apparently it worked.
It bears your signature.
Well, you wouldn't have believed it otherwise. If I had thought you were going to fall for it, I wouldn't have let him try. This is a delicate position. I think you would appreciate that. So how have things been going on your end?
How have they been? People are dying.
I'm trying to put a stop to that.
By hanging them?
Robin, where are you? We're friends, don't you remember? We came here for the same reason. Don't get caught up in all this.
I'm not the one who declared myself sheriff.
I didn't declare myself sheriff.
That's not what Arabelle says.
Arabelle? Well, what did she say to you?
She told me about the letter from the High Sheriff of Yorkshire, that Roger de Lacy was to be replaced by Lord Gisborne, and that you told her to burn the letter and claim the seat for your own.
There's no proof.
She didn't burn the letter. She gave it to me.
Why?
She's the one that let us in here. Came to us earlier this night. She let Will Scarlet and Elena free from the prison.
She what? Oh, Arabelle, what have you done?
You are acting in direct opposition and a high order by the High Sheriff. You have disregarded the commands of King Richard himself. You practically staged a coup and illegally taken control of Nottingham Castle.
Now just wait a minute.
Then you order the murder of my men. You kidnapped Lady Mary and enforce a marriage upon her.
What?
All in the name of order? In the name of peace? You signed an edict to raise the forest, to scare hundreds of people from their homes. This is safety to you.
Robin, slow down. Let me explain myself.
Ferrers re-enters the room with 2 cups and some gauze. He puts the cups on the table in the center of the room.
Ah, thank you. Right here, please. Would you do me a favor and dress the wound on his arm?
I gave that to him.
All the more reason. Here, Robin, drink.
You can poison me as well?
William, agitated, sets his own drink down, reaches for Robin's and drinks from it, then puts it back in front of Robin. He is clearly not poisoned and sits down again.
I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not staging a coup, and I'm certainly not forcing anyone into a marriage. You, on the other hand, have taken control of a band of mercenaries, are calling the people to rebellion, have been at fault for the assassination of a sheriff. What else? The least of which, stealing from the king's supply stores, is, if I may remind you, what we came here in the first place to stop. Which one of us is more likely a traitor to the king, Robin?
You were never appointed sheriff. Anything you do as such is an act against the king. How can you deny that?
Would you prefer Lord Gisborne as the sheriff? That's what I was up against. You would have done the same. When we were attacked in the woods, if you had run and I had stayed, if our roles had been reversed, you would have done the same as I, every step.
Gisborne is dead. I killed him myself.
You can't just go around killing public officials whenever it suits you, Robin.
So step down. If you took the sheriff's office only so that Gisborne wouldn't, prove it. He's no longer a threat. Step down and release Marion.
Marion, is that why you're here? Is that what it comes down to?
Will you step down?
Why? You fancy her. You can't see beyond that.
You know you won't. Because you like the power. You don't care about peace. You care about yourself, King William.
Marion and I can restore the peace here.
I will denounce you. I will show everyone the letter from the High Sheriff. I will send a message to King Richard himself about your treason. What then will be the point of marrying Marion? Step down, William.
And then what? Who will take my place? If not Gisborne, who? Who in your mind will fill the sheriff's office that will not do as I have done? You? King Robin?
I'm no king.
You and I should know better than anyone. It doesn't matter who wears the crown. The orders are the same. If you kill the king, there's another one behind him. What did killing Roger de Lacy get you? Me? What would denouncing me get you? This man, probably, William de Ferrers. What would you do if you were sheriff, Ferrers?
I'd raise the forest.
You see? Robin, I can make this better. This isn't war. You don't win by killing everyone else. There are some that would sit here and do that. I'm the best chance for reason.
You're a traitor, William.
How long have you known me? What are you even fighting for?
Someone's got to fight for it.
You have no idea what your own cause is.
It doesn't make me wrong.
Do you remember when you were shot with that arrow, the wound in your calf?
I do. If I remember correctly, I wasn't even supposed to be in the crown that day.
That's right. It was my day. But you had lost the bet the night before.
No, I didn't lose the bet. You tricked me.
Well, you shouldn't have bet. You knew I was up to something.
That's true. But, I didn't care.
I remember seeing you when you got hit. And my first instinct was to laugh.
Oh, thank you.
William has been drinking from Robin's cup and hands it to Robin, who no longer refuses it. He offers Robin the gauze as well, who casually declines. Robin puts his sword down on the table, and William picks up his own cup.
What went through your head? You didn't scream.
I didn't. I remember that. I remember knowing that it was a minor wound instantly, and that the king shouldn't scream, so I didn't. Then I remember being proud that it worked. I was proud that they attacked me and that Richard was safe. Until then, we never really knew if it was a good strategy. At times, it even seemed cowardly, but when the arrow hit, I knew we were doing the right thing.
Do you remember what I remember thinking?
What's that?
I remember being glad it wasn't me. Cheers, old friend.
Cheers.
He raises his drink to Robin, and they toast. William drinks quickly. Robin watches him for a moment and smiles. Robin pulls deeply from his own drink, and William reaches across the table and slices Robin's exposed neck with a concealed knife. Robin kicks violently. His drink flies down. He sputters and collapses. William grabs him and helps him to the ground, overwhelmed with horror, but prevents Robin from reaching either his sword or his own neck, and continues to wrestle with Robin long after he has died.
I'm sorry, Robin, I'm sorry. We swore an oath to the king, an oath of fidelity, an oath to protect our country from all dangers, even from within itself, and even from those we love. You broke that oath, Robin. You broke that oath, not I. All you've done is endanger the people, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't let you stop this peace. There will be peace in Nottingham, and I will be its architect. I will do it, even if I have to drag everyone like a child. If I have to kill every man who would stand in my way, I will see it done. There isn't a friend or a father or a lover worth more than that. And if I am the only one willing to sacrifice for it, then...
Without warning, William starts coughing up blood, which he is now only starting to realize. He looks at the blood in his hands, slowly turns to look at the cup that he drank from, and then up to Ferrers, who is smiling coldly from the shadows. William tries to move toward Ferrers, but finds himself falling to the ground, scrambling across chairs, unable to get close enough. Ferrers closes and locks the door, moves Robin's sword just out of William's reach, and lightly tosses the gauze to him. Ferrers moves back to the desk and picks up the edict.
As per orders of this edict, the last signed act of the previous sheriff of Nottingham before he was slain, as was his predecessor, Sherwood Forest will be razed to the ground, commencing tomorrow morning, to end this little rebellion once and for all.
William sputters a few final times on the ground and is dead. Ferrers watches him, picks up the poisoned cup, and pours any remaining liquid onto William's face. He then drinks deeply from Robin's cup and gives Robin a disgusted once-over. He strolls to the portrait of Roger de Lacy on the wall, takes it down, and exits. Scene 9, Sherwood Forest, a road. An empty road in Sherwood Forest, down which come several guards. They carry small barrels, which are clearly very heavy.
That should be far enough from the road, don't you think?
What's in these things anyway?
I don't know, but they'll burn for a good long time. Let's put the others deep in. We'll run the fuses together and set them up from the road.
Can't believe we're burning down the whole forest.
Yeah, it'll grow back. Them outlaws won't, though. Chop one of their heads off and they'll stay dead.
I heard they killed Robin Hood. There isn't anyone even left to fight.
Burn it down anyways, just to be sure.
An arrow is heard whistling through the air and it strikes the barrel that the guard is carrying. He screams out in shock.
What's going on here?
The merry men. Little, Tuck, Arable, Marion, Stutley, and a figure dressed in Robin's iconic hood.
Another present from the sheriff. Thank you for the delivery, gentlemen.
Are you insane? Shooting an arrow like this?
Oh, you'll be fine. Besides, I need you alive to send a message to the new sheriff.
A message? What message?
Let him know this isn't over. Not by a long shot.
What are you talking about? Who are you?
The hooded figure walks up to the guard and removes his hood. It's Will Scarlet.
Don't you know? I'm Robin Hood.
Blackout.
Sit down, everyone, sit down. Please, stop. You're too kind. You're too kind. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you. What a tremendous play. And I got to tell you, it stings all the more to hear it read like that with these great, talented actors. So before we get to the Q&A with Nathan, I just want to thank all of these wonderfully talented people, most from Arizona, but the four gentlemen from California. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Just a quick reminder that if you want to get questions into Nathan for the Q&A, you can do so by commenting in the YouTube comment section. If you're in the webinar, you can comment directly to Nate through the comment section. Or you can actually text if you have your phone out right now and just want to text questions. That phone number is 480-834-9500. Again, that number to text in questions is 480-834-9500. We have had some very generous donations so far tonight. If you'd still like to donate, you certainly can. We have a Venmo account. It's at Mesa-Encore Theatre. At Mesa-Encore Theatre. That's our Venmo. Go straight to us. Otherwise, on our website, on the live streaming page, you can scroll down. There's a blue button down there that says Donate Today. And there's all the instructions you need. Donate any amount you'd like from that page. Or you can just go to our website, mesaencoretheatre.com/donate. mesaencoretheatre.com/donate. Again, thank you to everybody. Anyone who wants to stick around, we're going to go ahead and toss it over to Nathan Makaryk. We've already had some questions come in. Nathan Makaryk, ladies and gentlemen, the author of this amazing, amazing show.
Stop it. Do you have any questions for me? Or should I
yes. No. Can you hear me? Well, one of the questions was, what was the difference, the main difference between the novel and the play? And there's more questions we'll put in there.
That's a very good question. And I kind of mentioned earlier before we started that that the play only takes up a small segment of what the book was. If I had been a smarter human, the novel would actually be very close to the play, because it turns out that it's a really bad idea to write a really long book when it's your very first book that you're trying to get published. It's hard enough to get published, and it's like 10 times harder if it's really long. So I'm very lucky that I got published with a book that is significantly large. But the reason why it is so large is because I wanted to fill out the world so much more deeper than what I was able to do in the show. The show very much follows Robin's men, and and it still really is very Robin centric. Guy really does come off as the bad guy, and even the sheriff, at times we don't really get to see things from his point of view. So the biggest difference between the play and the book is that what you saw is probably about a third of the story that you'd see in the novel. In the novel, we see everything from Guy of Gisborne's point of view, from Nottingham's point of view. We get to learn, the group of guardsmen, as well as we get to know the Marion's men. So we really do get both halves of this world, so that you can see more clearly that from the guards in Nottingham, these are terrorists out in the forest that are really making things bad for security, for peace, for the financial security of the city. And it's cool to be able to see that from Guy's perspective. Guy's one of the main point of view characters, and he's hopefully very sympathetic, even though he does do some largely questionable things. I was also able to expand, before this play begins, there's an entire section of Robin and William in the Third Crusade, and we get to learn them a little bit better. In the play, they're together in the first scene, and then they're like, bye, I'll see you later, and they kind of go their two different roads. But their relationship is really the core of the story. So in the book, I'm able to at least spend a good chunk of time where they actually do have a lot of interaction before all of this happens. But yeah, again, lots of characters, lots more filling in the blanks of getting from point to point in the plot pieces. And fortunately, a lot more female characters. I'm able to get in more time with the female characters too. That was kind of a frustrating thing about writing a Robin Hood, is that you're really kind of stuck with a really guy-centric cast, or male-centric cast, I should say. And I wanted to respect Robin Hood canon by keeping as many of those as I could, and not necessarily change them into female roles. So I was able to get plenty of good more roles in there, but there's even more, and they have more of the bulk of the narration in the novel. In the novel, it really goes back and forth between male and female perspectives, quite back and very well balanced, I should say.
There is a question from the YouTube, kind of a two-parter. One part says, when can we get our hands on the next book? And then more seriously, despite playing such a balanced view over the characters, who was your favorite?
Ooh, okay, the first question, the easy one. The sequel is called Lionhearts. It comes out September 15th, available anywhere you get books. That's, ebook or hardcover. This book, Nottingham, also comes out in paperback at the exact same time. So right now, Nottingham is available ebook, hardcover, audiobook, but then paperback will be available at the same time Lionhearts is. As far as that was too loud. As far as favorite characters go, this is going to sound like a cop-out, but it is genuinely true. When I was writing it, my favorite character was always the character that I was currently writing, because it swaps back and forth between different points of view. And when I swapped to a new character to write that one, I was always mad because I liked the previous character so much. I was like, oh, I don't want to work on this guy's chapter. And then I would end up, that would be my new favorite character. And I would be so angry when I have to stop and work on someone else's chapter. So hopefully that's a good sign, at least from my perspective, that it is pretty balanced. If I had to actually pick a definitive favorite, it would be Prince John. And Prince John, you may have noticed, was not in the play, but he is in the book, and he gets to have some very fun chapters in the book, and he gets more increasingly important as the sequel comes out as well. So that's a fun element to add in. Any other questions?
Yes, there are several. Having read the book, which I love, in parentheses, how much did you research for this book, and do you have any tips for researching historical periods?
Good question. Yeah, so the book is classified as historical fiction, which was always a shock to me because I'm kind of a sci-fi and fantasy geek, and this is a story with swords and fighting and kings and queens, and Robin Hood just feels kind of fantastical. So it was very strange for me to change gears quite harshly into research mode, and I did do as much research as I could. It was actually really important to me to get a lot of the history right. My aim was to get it more correct than most Robin Hoods do. A lot of them just throw everything out the window. In fact, the way that the story started was I just started researching, hey, who was the Sheriff of Nottingham? Because at least prior to this, if I asked anyone, what's the Sheriff of Nottingham's name? No one could ever give you an answer. And that's not okay. It's not okay for him to only be known by his title and his evilness, because we have records of who the sheriffs of Nottingham actually were in that time period. And if you go to Wikipedia, then you get all the spoilers for the novel, because the transition from William de Wendenal, from Roger de Lacy to William de Wendenal to William de Ferrers took place in a very short amount of time. Not quite as short as I made it in the play and in the novel, but in a very short amount of time, that sheriff changed. And that's kind of where my story started, was I said, wait, what's going on there? How are there 3 sheriffs that all changed in the course of this one 6-month period, and exactly when all this Robin Hood stuff is going down? So that's kind of how I attacked the story, was taking what I could from history and explaining it, making it work with all of this folklore that we knew. So yeah, there was a lot of history, a lot of research that went into it. I did my best to get it right. I did actually get to travel to Nottingham Castle twice throughout the course of research and writing, which was fantastic, especially because the sequel takes place deeply in the city of Nottingham. So getting to learn the city of Nottingham and how, and the layout and the geography of it was really useful for writing the sequel. As far as advice goes, it sucks, because you will find lots of conflicting accounts from history, depending on what period you're researching. Sometimes you just gotta choose to make it up and assume that it works. I definitely chose to bend some rules here and there. Like I believe that actually at this time, Roger de Lacy was about 35 years old, whereas I've chosen him to play him as a much more seasoned, older politician. So some things, I chose to bend in favor of the narrative, but whenever I could get it right, getting it right was important to me.
Great. Pete asks, without revealing too much, is the sequel more the story of Robin Hood that we are accustomed to?
I would say no. I would say that this story is more what people are used to. There's a lot of elements in this that's, that are kind of canon Robin Hood. You get John and Robin fighting with staves over the river. You get Marion kidnapped to be married to the sheriff, which has never made sense to me, which is, I broke that. You get you get the robbery of the nobles going through the forest. You get Guy of Gisborne hunting them down. There's a lot of just standard Robin Hood stuff in this one. The sequel follows more historically what happens next. One of which does still involve two major things that are also kind of Robin Hood tropes that I wanted to smash to pieces. One Robin Hood trope is the archery contest, which, as we saw in this one, Ferrers recommends, and then everyone shoves him out of the room because it's a stupid idea. Well, Ferrers is now sheriff at the end of this. So going into the next novel, he's sheriff and he gets to do what he wants. So if he wants an archery contest, he's going to get one. My version of the archery contest goes against what most ends of the archery contest will do. That's probably the most spoilery thing I can say. The other big thing is, when King Richard comes back and saves the day. That's kind of the end of most Robin Hood movies, is Richard returns from the Crusades and waves his wand and everything is better. So that is also what happens in the next book, is King Richard returns. But historically speaking, King Richard did not return and has a joyously good time. When King Richard returned, the first thing he did was he brought his entire army and he sacked Nottingham Castle because Prince John had taken it over and was defending it. So there was a big giant war that happened when King Richard returns and makes things better. So that's probably the biggest set piece of Robin Hood history that returns in the second book.
Awesome. Just one more quick question for you then. Justin asks, what was it like hearing this read through tonight after 8 years between first show and tonight?
I mean, I don't want to get too weepy, but man, it was really good. This has clearly been really close to my heart for 8 years. And it's, writing a novel based on a play that I did meant that I got to have all of those actors with me forever. Like Frank and Larry and Jacob, in many ways, their positions, their roles in the show were done 8 years ago, but their performances have lived on literally every day for me. So boy, it hits home. It was really warm and lovely to get to hear it again. And the new actors, this cast was phenomenal. When we decided to do this, it was kind of a question mark, like can theater be engaging in this medium? And on Wednesday, when we did the rehearsal, I was just blown away. The actors who put their everything into this made you feel like you were in the other characters' shoes, looking them in the eye. The amount of their performance that they went into with very little setup, very little rehearsal, was just stunning. I'm beside myself with joy, and my thanks to them.
Well, our thanks to you, Nathan. Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and wrap things up tonight, everybody. Couple of quick things though. Number one, we will replay this entire reading plus the Q&A on Sunday. That's 2 days. We will go ahead and play that for everyone to see. So if you didn't get a chance to see it, if you're watching this not live, you can still donate. You can still come back and contribute in some way. I want to thank everybody again. Cast, if you're still on, go ahead and unmute your videos and just take a little bow or give a little wave. I want to thank Nathan one more time. We literally could not do this without Nathan's support. And it's very, very, very wonderful that you got to share this with us and the state of Arizona, and I guess like 14 other states, because there's a lot of people watching this today. On behalf of Mesa Encore Theatre, thank you to everyone who gave us a donation, everyone who's stuck around and watched this thing today. I thought it was a huge success. We will keep you posted as to what we are currently doing, whether we're going to do anything more virtually for the next couple of months. And we will certainly keep you posted as to what we will be doing next season, because it certainly won't be what we have currently scheduled. I will do everything in my power as a human to try and get Robin Hood somewhere next season because I really, really love this show. So have a great night, everyone. Be safe and healthy out there, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.